thinks the moon landing was a hoax.
Technically, the moon itself is a hoax.
Right, but betting with Sportsbet's new iPhone app?
I could do this standing on my head.
Thanks, Gravity. Sportsbet's new iPhone app. It's foolproof.
Robot dance, people. Time to robot dance.
We're living on a disk, floating through space, with a tiny sun.
Hey, I'm FTFE. Welcome back to the channel that does to stupidity what Unity just did to their entire company. If you're a gamer, you will understand what I'm talking about. If you're not, then just disregard the weird nerd guy talking on screen. Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. I hope you are having a wonderful day because I'm here to ruin it for you. Because I must hate myself or something because I decided to have a discussion with Bev Try Thinking. Someone who doesn't try thinking. Ever. Yeah, I've seen people suggest in the chat that I play a drinking game and take a shot of liquor every time the word level or horizontal is said. But frankly, I do not want to die. So I won't be doing that. This debate will of course be hosted by the wonderful medicinal mass media Discord server, the link to which you can find in the description of this video. And if my lovely mods would please also pop the link to that Discord server in the chat, so anyone here that would like to join the conversation and hear it live can definitely go and do that. Thank you everyone for being here. I really do appreciate it. And I want to give a personal thank you to everybody who donated to my wife's triathlon that she did down in Kent a few days ago. Absolutely smashed it at a time of 2 hours and 2 minutes. My wife and our friend Ailey were running the triathlon in support of the SAFA charity, a charity that helps serving and ex-military people with financial, housing and other needs like that. They helped me when I was in need, when I first moved to Scotland, when things were going badly for me and I needed some financial assistance. They helped me. It was amazing. And they help, thousands of ex and serving military every single day. So my wife and Ailey managed to raise about £1,100. The link is still open if you want to donate any more. Just check my recent community posts. But thank you very much, everyone that did donate. It really means a lot to me. But why don't we go over and see what is going on in the House of Dumb? Hopefully Bev's around. Yes, he absolutely is. Good evening. Mr. FTFE? I'm not your dad. I'm just FTFE. Thank you very much for having me here. I really do appreciate it. Thank you for helping arrange this as well. And hello to everybody watching on your YouTube channel. If the mods in my channel could also pop the link to the Medicinal Mass Media YouTube channel that is showing this as well. And do me a favor and go and subscribe to that, guys. Hello, Beverly. How are we? Good, good, good. I'm doing fantastic, thank you. Yes. So, quick question for you, Bev. What shape is the Earth? You don't know? Well, yeah, that definitely does have a shape, yeah. Well, I know it's an oblate spheroid. Yeah, it's been measured several million times. So what's your response to that? Do you agree? Well, yeah. You lied to your son about the shape of the Earth, which is, not a very nice thing to do. Because you tell your son the Earth's not a globe. Well, you told me that specifically in our previous debate, that you tell him that the Earth isn't a globe because it's not. Well, flat earthers don't know it's a globe because, their mothers use their soft spot as an ashtray, I assume. And I know for a fact, Bev, that even though you don't like the term, you are a flat earther. No, you absolutely are a flat earther, Bev. Bev, does the Earth sit between two parallel points 100 or more miles apart? Is there a level surface between those 2 points? You can't have parallel points. Yeah, do you want to explain how you can't have two parallel points? Yeah. So, 2 points with a parallel. So you take point A and you take point B and you put parallels on them. Are those parallels? With all due respect, this is just a conversation between Bev and I. Bev is not audible. I do apologize. Why is that not coming through? Right, I'm sorry. Let me sort that out. My bad. Thank you. I appreciate that. Right, mic check.
Can hear you.
Yeah, there we go. It's coming through now. My bad, people.
Now can they hear Bev?
Yeah, they should be able to now. Right. So what's happened up to this point, guys? Just so you know. Sorry, I had a flerf moment with tech there. Bev has disagreed that he is a flat earther, and I'd like to hear him, substantiate that. He disagrees that the Earth has a shape. Isn't that right, Bev?
So there isn't a shape.
I mean, is an oblate spheroid a shape? Yes or no?
Well, that's obviously some sort of a spheroid, right? That's a shape.
And so you agree that an oblate spheroid is a shape, is that correct?
Yeah, a square is a shape, and a triangle and a circle.
No,
they're also shapes.
This is a yes or no question, Bev. Is an oblate spheroid a shape? Yes?
We've just answered that. Yes, Craig.
Yes,
it's
fantastic.
A shape.
And
right.
As the Earth is an oblate spheroid, therefore the Earth has a shape. Correct?
That's what you say.
No. It's what reality says.
I would say that. I would say that. How could you have that, and how could you say that when there is deviance in elevation, like there is?
Elevation isn't curvature; they're different things.
Go on, explain, please.
You can have elevation above the surface of a sphere.
They're saying Bev is too loud now.
Now they're saying Bev's too loud. Okay, no, but
Aren't they fussy? Hey. You should get your taxi sorted out.
Yeah, I've recently done a lot of repairs on my PC, so everything is kind of reset. Yeah, my bad.
Can't wait till I get subscribers to tell me my stream's not working. I just have to find out after the fact.
All right, guys watching. I apologize for the tech issues there, but yes, we are back here. So yeah, sorry, Bev. You were telling us about your problems with the Earth being an oblate spheroid.
No. We're just going to get round to that. You're shape obsessed. We're going to get round to the bit where you talk about where I lie to my son. That's the point we're here.
Do you tell your son the Earth's an oblate spheroid?
No.
Then you're lying to your son.
Why?
Because the Earth's an oblate spheroid.
Well, do you tell your son that the Earth's an oblate spheroid?
Absolutely, because it is. I like to tell my son the truth.
Are you proud of that?
Yeah, because that's the truth, and I like to tell my son the truth.
Do you tell your son that level isn't horizontal?
I tell my son that level can have many different definitions depending on the context. That there is not just one definition of level. And that when we are talking about the Earth, level means conforming to the curvature of the liquid parts of Earth's surface. And according to surveyors, true level is the curvature of the Earth. So, you know.
But a water level is a tool for establishing a horizontal plane of reference.
A water tool is a tool that reacts to the forces of gravity.
But a water level, like I say, a water level is a tool for establishing a horizontal plane of reference.
Yeah, and a water level will react to the forces that are created by gravity. So, one side of the water level will not be completely perpendicular to the other side of the water level, assuming that by a water level you mean like a tube with, connected at two ends with water on both ends. Those two sides of the water level will not be completely perpendicular to each other. They will deviate away from each other. This is measured. This is factual.
They will have an equal elevation. I don't know what you're talking about, perpendicular.
Yeah.
It's just two ends of a water level. They'll have an equal elevation.
Elevation is not curvature. You can have elevation.
No, I didn't say it was. It's a horizontal plane of reference.
You can. Right. So if you have two sides of the water level that are both 10 meters above the surface of the Earth, there will still be a curve in between them.
Will there?
Yes.
Okay. And would that curve go higher than the 2 points?
No, it would stay the same elevation above the surface of the Earth.
Okay.
You're going the Nathan Oakley route here of not understanding what
I'm not going the Nathan Oakley
means.
route at
You
all.
certainly are going the Nathan Oakley route of not understanding what elevation and level means. This is
No,
definitely
you're the
Oakley
one
route.
that says that this horizontal plane that the water level provides is flat Earth, right?
No, I'm
you
not.
say that.
I never said that.
Same
at all.
as Nathan Oakley.
I never said that once.
Well, you calling me a flat earther?
You are a flat earther, yes.
Well, because I say that level is horizontal.
I mean, that could possibly be one of the definitions of level.
Okay.
Under
well, that
certain-
is the
under
definition
certain-
that I go with.
So you ignore all the other definitions.
What are the other definitions?
Well, if you look in the dictionary and go to the word level, there will be a whole bunch of them. Do you just choose one and go with that? I mean, there's nouns, there's adjectives. You know, what are we using here?
Yeah, there's a bubble level, water level.
Beverly, I'm talking, right? Level.
Who's Beverly?
You are Beverly. Level.
No, I'm called Bev.
Yes, Beverly, I know. Level can mean many different things, and when we are talking about the Earth, level means a curve conforming to the curvature of the liquid parts of Earth's surface.
Well, we're talking about the water level
which
that is horizontal, not the Earth.
Water,
the tool, the water level.
Yeah, but a tool, water level, is not the same as the word level. They are different things.
Well, like an auto level.
Yet again, that is not level. That is a tool called an auto level. That is not
that establishes
the word
a
level.
Horizontal plane of reference.
Yeah, and which you can clearly use to show that the Earth curves.
So there's two levels. One's
There's
a
lots
water
of-
level,
there's
the other one's
lots of
an
levels.
auto level.
No,
and they both
neither of those are
provide
word level, they are
a
tools.
horizontal plane of reference.
They can do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
They do.
A water level, as in a tube connected with water at both ends, will not show a horizontal plane of reference because they will deviate away from each other. And if you were to take a 90-degree from azimuth from each side, those lines would not go straight, they would cross each other because they would be deviating away from each other. Because the Earth is an oblate spheroid, Bev. Whether you
There's only
want to
2
admit
points.
it or not. There's only 2 points on the Earth?
No, there's only 2 points for the water level. We've got a test, right? Let me run you through this, right? Do you know? Have you ever heard of
the Earth's a globe? Yeah.
Have you ever heard of the Bedford level?
Yes, I have. The Bedford level actually established that the Earth is quite clearly a globe with the curvature expected.
Okay, right. Nicely scripted. But you've got two
Scripted?
bridges.
Did you, is there a script in
6
front of me?
miles apart. Two
Yeah.
bridges, 6 miles apart.
Correct.
Right? Above the same stretch of water, providing
Yes.
the sluice gates aren't locked.
Yes.
Right, so if you measure an equal elevation above that water at each end of the bridge,
Mm-hmm.
at each bridge,
Yeah.
you would have 2 points at an equal elevation above a body of water, a canal.
Yeah. Yeah, and there'd be a
Right, now-
curve in between those 2 points. Yeah.
If you joined those 2 points up, right,
You would need
with
a
a
curve
straight
to do that.
line,
You
with a
wouldn't be able
straight
to-
line,
They would form a
If-
tangent to the surface of the Earth.
2 points, right? They would make a straight line.
Well, those 2 points would make a straight line that forms a tangent to the spherical surface of the Earth.
It would just be a straight line, and it wouldn't be a tangent to anything.
It would be a
because they'll
tangent
be in
to
the
the
air.
surface of the... Yeah, and it would be a
in
tangent
the air.
it would be a tangent to the surface of the Earth, yes.
Tangent to what?
To the surface of the Earth. I just said that. Do you have difficulty hearing?
They're an equal elevation above water, so they're in the
Correct.
air.
Yes, yeah. And the
At
line...
altitude.
And the line connecting them, if it is completely straight, will be a tangent to the surface of the Earth.
Tangent to what?
I'm sorry, are you having issues hearing? To the surface of the
Yeah.
Earth.
But what is a tangent? Is a straight line that touches a curve at 1 point and 1 point only.
Yeah, exactly. And the straight line connecting
So-
those 2 points at the same elevation will form a tangent that touches the surface of the Earth, or very close to it.
So what's the surface that it's touching in the air?
Well, it wouldn't be
Is it
touching
an
the
air
air.
tangent?
At the middle of that line, if it is completely straight, connecting point A and B, the middle of that line would touch or be very close to the surface of the water.
Really?
Yes, because that line that connects the two would not have the same elevation along the entire way.
Okay, so you're saying that they're an equal elevation at each end,
Yes.
right, above the water.
Correct.
Let's say about 5 meters,
Yes.
right, above the water.
Correct.
Now you're saying at the center of that line between those 2 points on a straight line, it's going to be touching something.
Yes, that straight line would form a tangent to the surface of the Earth, or very, very close to a tangent touching the surface of the Earth. Because, as I just said, that straight line would not have the same elevation as the 2 points the entire way.
So a straight line that's an equal elevation at each end, you're saying, would not have an equal elevation at the center.
Not unless it was a curved line, no.
Okay, so would the water rise up to touch this straight line?
It would appear to rise up from the perspective of a person at either point, because you're always looking down to the horizon.
But you've got it going up. So you've got a hump.
It would appear to rise up because of how perspective works.
So you go for the hump model, the rising of the center.
It's a level surface.
Yeah, but in relation to these 2 points and this straight line. it
The
rises
straight line, well,
in
the
the
straight
center.
line isn't level. The straight line is straight, not level.
Okay. Equal elevation. So,
Yeah.
could you call that straight line horizontal?
No, it wouldn't be horizontal. No.
Oh.
It would be pointing down from either point.
Down.
Yeah.
Hmm.
To form a straight line connecting point A and point B, it would have to point down from either side. Because the Earth's curved.
Down.
Yeah. I mean, is geometry and 3D visualization a little hard for you, Beverly?
Well, I mean, you can try giving these fancy names you want, right?
Which
Everybody
fancy
knows my
name
name's
have I used here? Sorry, did line confuse you? Was that too fancy of a name? Did the word curve, is that too fancy for you? Was geometry too fancy a word for you? Or is tangent confusing to your small brain? Which one is it?
Keep your anger under control. Okay?
I haven't, there's
Deep
been
breaths.
zero anger at all. I've been smiling this entire time, laughing at how incredibly dumb you are.
Just trying to keep you under control, right?
I'm perfectly under control.
Jolly
I very much enjoy talking to dumb people. It makes me very happy.
Oh, right.
And just to be clear there, you're the dumb person I'm talking to.
Yeah, I don't know. That's your threatening or abusive manner that you do.
And which part of my manner has been threatening or abusive?
The one where you call in names.
What names have I called you?
You've called me Beverly.
Yes,
and
Beverly,
that's
I have.
not
That's
my
your
name.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. See, like, this is how childish you get, Craig.
Beverly is your name. Please don't argue with me. That is
It's
what I've
not
decided.
my
It is-
name.
Well, it's the name I have given you.
Yes, because you're childish.
If you say so. I agree that is quite childish, and I will keep calling you Beverly because I think it's funny.
Right.
And so far, you have responded to the name Beverly several times, therefore confirming that your name is in fact Beverly.
It's not. My name is not Beverly.
Well, why have you responded to the name Beverly
Everybody
several
knows
times?
that. I mean, what is the idea of this, Craig?
Exactly what's happening now. I'm getting you very triggered, and I'm finding it hilarious.
You think this is getting triggered?
You are clearly getting triggered because I called you Beverly and you don't like it.
No, you're just name calling, right?
All right, let's check
for the fact that you've got no argument, and you've just said that a straight line has to go downwards.
Yeah,
Craig.
if on Earth, if there is 2 points that are, parallel,
Equal elevation.
there are equal elevation above the surface of the Earth, to connect those 2 points, the only way that line connecting those 2 points would stay the same elevation above the surface of the Earth is if that line was curved.
The shortest distance between those 2 points at an equal elevation would be called, in reality, a horizontal line.
Well, no, because in reality the Earth's curved.
You said it's not.
No, because in reality the Earth is an oblate spheroid, and the water connecting those 2 points curves.
So where's the horizontal line in between those 2 points, right? Is
There
it
wouldn't
possible
be.
for you to
You
make
would not be able
a
to connect
horizontal
those 2
line
points. No.
between A and B?
No, you would not be able to make a horizontal line that connects A and B that would create a 90-degree to azimuth at each point.
You couldn't have a perpendicular at
No.
each point.
No, because
Well,
they
but
are
you can,
deviating away from
can't
each
you?
other. Because no, you can't.
But
In reality, you
you-
can't, because plumb lines deviate
can.
away from each other.
In reality, you can go to that bridge at each end of the 6 miles and you can make a perpendicular with a...
Have you done that?
Yeah.
Well, you had a line, a physical line connecting
No,
both
you can
points.
drop... You can drop a plumb bob
You can drop
at
a plumb bob
each
where?
end of the bridge.
Yeah, and those plumb bobs will diverge away from each other. Yes, that's been measured.
Well, if you have an equal elevation on those plumb bobs at each end of the Bedford Canal,
Yes.
5 meters, let's say,
Yeah. Are you going to
Then
misunderstand it again? Please do. It's funny.
in between each one of those points, you could have the shortest straight line distance between A and B. In reality, right? That's possible.
Yeah, in reality, you could draw a straight line that would be the shortest distance between those 2 points. However, as I've said several times, Beverly, that straight line will not have the same elevation above the surface of the Earth along its entire length. The only way that the line would have the same elevation as point A and point B would be if that line is curved.
Right, so the horizontal line that goes from A to B, but they're at an equal elevation.
Well,
and
okay,
a water level is a tool that establishes a horizontal plane of reference, and it would have an equal elevation, an equal altitude at each end.
Why are you repeating yourself again? The elevation.
I'm just trying to make sure that you.
Right. Let me make this very clear for you. Point A has an elevation 5 meters above the surface of the Earth. Yes.
Yes, above the water at Bedford.
Yeah. Okay. So point A has an elevation of 5 meters above the water at Bedford, and point B has an elevation of 5 meters above the water at Bedford. Correct.
Above the same. Above the same.
Yeah,
water
above the same water. Right. Okay. Yes. Now, if you were to create a completely straight line between those 2 points, that straight line would not have the same elevation of 5 meters along its entire length. As it got towards the middle point, that elevation above the surface of the Earth would get smaller and smaller and smaller until it was nearly a tangent. And then, as it got towards the other one, it would get further and further and further away from the surface of the Earth until it is again 5 meters. The only way that the line connecting point A and point B can be the same elevation as point A and point B along its entire length is if that line is curved. Do you understand?
Right, well, can we go back to it?
Do you understand?
The horizontal
yes or no?
Plane.
No, hold on.
I understand what you're saying, yes.
Yes, there we go. Well done.
Saying.
And Beverly, that is reality, Beverly.
Can we agree that that is a horizontal plane?
I mean, it wouldn't form a 90-degree angle to each of the points.
Would it at the centre, where you say it's going to be tangent, at that point, would it be perpendicular? And would it be classed
perpendicular to
as a horizontal plane?
A tangent would be a horizontal plane above the surface of a curved surface, yes. That's what a tangent is.
That straight line that we've just done from A to B that you said goes across the centre, it now is a horizontal plane of reference.
Only from the centre point. That's the only point where it is going to be horizontal. It will not be horizontal at either end, at point A or point B. The only point it will form a horizontal plane is where the tangent touches the surface of the Earth.
Okay. Just at the centre point.
Yes, this is very basic geometry, Bev, which I understand is the reason you don't understand.
How is it a plane there?
Because it would be a straight line. That's what a tangent is.
It's a point. You just said it's a point. Because the line would go from A to B.
And that line would touch a point on the surface of the Earth. And that horizontal would only be horizontal at the point in the center. That's the only place it would be horizontal.
It's a line. A horizontal is a line, Craig.
Yeah, and again, the only
has
place it will be again. Bev, listen. The only point that line will be a horizontal plane is at the center. It will not be a horizontal plane at point A or point B.
You're doing the monad thing. How can it be a plane at the center point?
Because that's what
it's either a plane or a line.
A tangent line is a plane.
Okay. So is it a horizontal tangent
at the center
line then that goes
it's horizontal
from A
in reference
to B?
It is only horizontal in reference to the center.
Okay.
Because one horizontal is not. I'm in the middle of talking, right? One person's horizontal is not another person's horizontal. If I have a horizontal and someone walks 20 meters away from me, their horizontal is no longer the same as my horizontal. They will diverge away from each other.
It could be on the same horizontal though, right?
No.
Of course you could.
No, you can't. Yeah,
you can extend a horizontal well over 20 feet.
But it won't be it won't be another person's horizontal. It will only be the person's horizontal that is standing in the center of it. It's not anyone else's horizontal.
Oh, you could make it an entire plane.
Horizontal is a local thing. Bev, horizontal is a local thing.
Local is the water level, yeah, from A to B.
No,
You
from A to B.
horizontal.
From A to B is not local. That is over a distance. Local is 1 point.
Well, like you're saying, local is a point.
Yeah.
Because a point is that of which has no parts. That's a nothing to nowhere.
Okay. Yeah.
So you're saying local
Words
is
are
nowhere.
very hard for you, aren't they, Bev? Words are very, very hard for you. All right. I've made this very, very simple.
It's only the first definition.
I've made this very, very, very simple for you. And I will make it simple again, okay? Please open your ears and listen. The only way that a line connecting point A and point B that will maintain a 5 meter elevation above the surface of the Earth is if that line is curved. There we go. End of discussion.
And you definitely go for the hump, the go up.
I just told you exactly what it is.
Okay. Well, like when Jesse Kozlowski said that the water level drops.
Am I Jesse Kozlowski? Are you debating Jesse Kozlowski or are you debating me?
No, Jesse Kozlowski's done one, hasn't he? He's never.
Are you debating Jesse Kozlowski or are you debating me?
I'm not debating you either.
You absolutely are. You 100% are. This is a stream called. This is a stream that is titled a Flat Earth Debate. FTFE versus Bev Try Thinking. So we are having a debate. No, it is because you're a flat earther.
No, I am not a flat earther.
Yes, you are. You are a flat earther.
This is far from a debate.
You are a flat earther, whether you like it or not. And this is a debate, whether you like it or not. Of course, the debate is in inverted commas.
This is where you and your fantasies of fighting flat earthers has to come to an end.
I don't fight flat earthers.
I'm not a flat earthers.
You are a flat earther.
Or your neighbours, or whatever you want to fight. Like, there's no need. I'm not a flat earther, and I'm not your neighbour.
What was that about my neighbour?
I said, you're fighting. I'm not worth fighting because I'm not a flat earther.
Well, you are a flat
I'm not your neighbour.
Yeah, again, I don't fight flat earthers. I fight the flat earth. And I know you're not my neighbour. Thank fuck. But why are you bringing up my neighbour?
Because you were fighting him. You've got a criminal conviction for fighting people because you get angry.
Dude broke into my house and threatened me, so I beat the fuck out of him. Would you not do the same?
You gave him your missus, but did you get it back? Did you get a bike back?
The police got it back eventually, yeah.
So you did get it back?
Once the police went and found where it was, where he'd sold it for a drug debt, yes.
Well, you got it back. That's
the police got it back, yeah, after the whole thing. But again, let me ask you that question again, Bev. If someone broke into your house and threatened you, would you not beat the fuck out of them?
Well, I wouldn't know. You'd have to get some sort of a proof of that sort of stuff, wouldn't you?
No, it's not a proof thing. It's a simple hypothetical question. If somebody forced your front door open, came up to you and threatened you, would you beat them up? Yes or no?
That's not what happened, Craig. But
it's absolutely what happened.
Don't start making stuff.
No, that's absolutely what happened. It was on the front
of your house. You
that was the second time. Yeah, that was the second time.
Now.
Yeah, that was the second time.
The second time you beat him up. You beat him up twice.
Yeah, you went over the stream where I did. You should know that, yes.
Is that where you were behaving in a threatening or abusive manner? The one that you're guilty to?
I did threaten him, yes, because he, shouted horrible things at me, and I threatened him and said he didn't give my wife's bike back, there'd be issues. Yes, absolutely. But again, the question, Bev, to you, which you avoided, is if somebody forced your front door open and threatened you...
Did he call you a child abuser or something like that?
Again, if somebody forced your front door open, Bev, and threatened you, would you beat them up? Yes or no? You don't like yes or no questions, do you?
I don't know. I've never been put in that situation.
Level.
So you're saying you would just let your family be in danger with some crazy guy breaking into your house? Good to know. Good to know that's how you would, treat your family. That you're not man enough to like defend them when someone forces their way in.
Did you leave the front door open?
No, the front door, it doesn't lock automatically. You can open it from either side.
Okay. So he just opened your door then?
Yeah,
Maybe we could get away from this personal stuff.
Yeah. I was wondering why he's bringing up the personal stuff. It's crazy.
No, he was just on about you fighting flat earthers, because I'm not a flat earther.
I don't fight flat earthers. When have I fought a flat earther?
I don't know, you're called Fight the Flat Earth.
Yeah, exactly. And that's not the same as fight the flat earthers, is it?
But you're trying to make level being horizontal a flat earth thing. So you can fight it. It
is, because you're a flat earther,
no,
and
it's
that's what you push.
It's just reality, Craig.
But it's not, though.
And I'm not a flat earther.
You are a flat earther. Whether you like it or not, you are a flat earther.
That's a good argument.
Let me ask you one simple question that will confirm if you are a flat earther or not. Right?
I'm not a flat earther.
Well, this question will confirm it. Do you believe the surface of the Earth can lie between two parallel planes no more than 100 miles apart?
I wouldn't know.
Why wouldn't you know? Didn't you do measurements?
Well, I know that horizontals are parallel, right? I can prove that.
Well, they're not.
But as for your distance, I haven't got a clue.
They're not, though.
What do you...
Horizontals aren't parallel. Plumb lines diverge. This has been measured for centuries.
You said horizontals, not
yeah.
plumb
My horizontal is not your horizontal, and plumb lines diverge. So a horizontal relative to a plumb line is not going to be the same as for me as it is for you.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think this may be where we've found your problem.
No, I'm not on the problem here. Right. So
okay,
let me ask you. Let me ask you a simple.
Let's establish a horizontal, like a horizontal, right?
A horizontal.
Like say
are we talking about a horizontal on Earth that forms a tangent to the surface of the Earth? Yes.
How about we're calling on a mathematics board in school, right? You've got the
mathematics. We're talking about mathematics.
And the Y.
If we talk about mathematics, then I never got an answer to this question last time. Is non-Euclidean geometry a branch of mathematics?
We're talking about Euclidean geometry on a math board with X and Y.
Does Euclidean geometry count if the Earth's a sphere?
Well, a sphere is a Euclidean solid shape, right?
Is non-Euclidean geometry a branch of mathematics?
11,
Yes or no?
A sphere.
Is non-Euclidean geometry a branch of mathematics? Yes or no?
It's not Euclidean geometry, and that's all I know, Craig.
Is non-Euclidean geometry a branch of mathematics? Yes or no?
Brilliant, Craig. Can we just get back to the X and Y on the math board?
It's a yes or no question, bud.
And I've said I don't know, Craig.
So you don't know. To clarify, you don't know. So, hold on, just to clarify, Beverly, you don't know if non-Euclidean geometry is a branch of mathematics. Is that right?
Right, I have imaginometry. Who's that?
Level.
Sorry, what was that?
Who's that?
What did you say about imaginometry?
Who's that?
Who's what?
That's coming in.
What are you talking about?
You. Have you got a soundboard going?
What are you on about?
You and the soundboard, or is it somebody else that you can't hear?
Are you hearing voices in your head?
Okay, right. Let's go. Oh, fucking hell! So childish.
What are you on about?
Maths board. You've got a teacher at the whiteboard.
Yeah, would that teacher say that non-Euclidean geometry is a branch of mathematics?
I don't know.
Oh,
did you
not do maths at school?
I did maths, yes. So you've got an X and a Y,
and you never covered non-Euclidean geometry. Did you ever cover non-Euclidean geometry at school?
No, we didn't.
You didn't cover non-Euclidean, so you didn't finish high school then?
Absolutely, yeah. I have wrote imaginometry, which is the best non-Euclidean geometry there is. It's the most non-Euclidean geometry there is. So
Sorry,
if you want to discuss that, we can get into that.
Yeah,
but
so,
let's deal
so
with X
you
and
disagree,
Y on
you
the,
disagree
for
that
everybody else in
non-Euclidean geometry
reality.
is a branch of mathematics then?
Well, I say I've made the most non-Euclidean geometry there is.
No, you haven't.
Yeah, I have.
No, you haven't.
Yeah, Imagineometry is the most
No such thing.
non-Euclidean geometry there is.
What is your metric for non-Euclidean? What are the units for non-Euclideanness? How
Hold
are you
on.
measuring it?
Rumpus poles.
Hold on a second, PhD. Welcome back. But it's between Craig and Bev right now.
Yeah. Was that Tony? All right, Tony. Long time no see. Hope you're doing all right. Right, so the X and the Y, them axis that you have on the whiteboard.
Yeah, and how does that account? How does that work in
perpendicular
non-Euclidean
to each
geometry?
other.
Yeah.
They're perpendicular, aren't they?
You can have 2 points that are perpendicular to each other on a whiteboard, absolutely.
Points? No, you can't have points that are perpendicular. You can have lines that are perpendicular.
Oh,
to
yes,
each other,
okay,
but
sorry. You can
like
have
the
lines
X and
that
the
are
Y.
perpendicular. Yes.
I know,
Yeah.
you'll get it sometime too. Well, all of the X's on that graph, the axis, they're all parallel to each other, and they're classed as being
on the whiteboard,
horizontal.
Yeah. I mean, the
And they're
surface of the Earth isn't
horizontal,
a
right?
whiteboard, so yeah, on the whiteboard they could be, yeah.
So the horizontals are parallel within mathematics.
On a whiteboard, they could be, yeah.
Go.
Not within
And all-
mathematics, in a certain circumstance within mathematics, but not all of the time, no.
Yeah, horizontals are parallel within mathematics, within
Not all of the
Euclidean
time,
geometry.
no. Not all of the time, no.
Within Euclidean geometry, Craig.
Yeah, but I like doing non-Euclidean geometry, so.
Okay, I know you do.
Because the
Yeah.
Earth's curved, so non-Euclidean geometry is more appropriate.
So would that curve your horizontals then?
Straight lines become curved.
Yeah, so the horizontal would become curved.
The horizontals aren't curved. No, level is curved. Horizontals.
So
would
the
be a
horizontal
tangent.
stays straight then?
A horizontal is something that's straight. Yes.
Okay. So you can have straight lines,
Level.
but not parallels.
Level.
What? Straight lines, but not parallels.
Yeah, that's what you're saying.
Yeah,
is it?
not all straight lines are parallel. Yeah, absolutely.
No, the horizontals within
You said-
the whiteboard. Right?
You said straight lines. I'm answering that question.
Yeah, horizontals are straight lines, right? On the whiteboard within mathematics.
Yeah, their horizontals are straight like that on a whiteboard. I mean, just because it's on a whiteboard doesn't make it within mathematics. You realise that?
But that's reality, right? You were always taught that this graph paper that you used.
Yeah, Earth's not graph paper, so I mean, Earth's curved.
I know,
graph
we're
paper
not
is straight.
talking about Earth. We're talking
Well,
about
we are talking
horizontal.
about Earth. That's what this conversation
Oh, you
is
are.
about. Yeah, yeah.
You are.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I talk about the shape of the Earth with flat earthers like you.
Right, but I'm not a flat earther. So
But you
we're
are
not
a flat
talking
earther.
about the Earth. We're talking
You are a
about
flat earther,
establishing a horizontal
Yeah,
in
and-
reality.
Yeah, and you can establish a horizontal, and that horizontal will be a tangent to the Earth. Yeah. One person's
so it would be a
horizontal
straight
is not
line then.
right. One person's horizontal is not another person's horizontal.
I don't know what that means. You don't
I know.
have your
I know
own
you don't.
horizontal.
I know you don't know what that means because your brain is very tiny.
No, I mean you don't know what that means because
No, I do know what that means.
horizontal isn't something that you have
Yes, it
per
is.
person.
Yes, it is. One person's horizontal.
don't-
Look, I'm literally showing it on my screen. One person's horizontal.
I don't know.
Another
I can't see
person's
your
horizontal.
screen.
Well, go over to my stream on YouTube then. One person's horizontal, there. Another person's horizontal, there. Now let's remove the thing in the middle. Those horizontals are not perpendicular to each other.
The horizontals will never be perpendicular to each other.
Well,
Craig, you
yeah,
muppet.
level to each other. In
You
line
should
with
you
each
should
other.
try a little bit harder than this, really.
Those horizontals are not in line with each other. One person's horizontal is not another person's horizontal. That's how it works on Earth.
Horizontal and vertical are perpendicular, right?
Horizontal and vertical are perpendicular. What does that mean?
Yes. It's a statement.
Horizontal is perpendicular to vertical. Locally, yes. Your local vertical will have a horizontal that is 90 degrees from it. Correct? Right? Now, another person's vertical and horizontal will not be perpendicular to the first person's vertical.
Well, the verticals won't be perpendicular to each other. No,
the verticals will not be perpendicular to each other, and the horizontals will not form a straight line touching each other. Because
verticals can't be perpendicular to each other, can they? That's fucking ridiculous.
Of course they can be.
What?
One vertical.
Verticals.
Vertical. That's verticals.
Perpendicular.
Two verticals being perpendicular to each other. I'm doing it right now.
Really? With plumb bobs?
Yeah.
Perpendicular plumb bobs.
What do you think the word perpendicular means?
It's at right angles, Craig.
Yeah, so you can have two things that are perpendicular to each other, right?
Yeah, but not plumb bobs.
No, the verticals will be perpendicular to each other. They will be in line with each other. But they're not on Earth. One person's vertical is not another person's vertical. Parallel. Sorry, I'm very tired, and I said perpendicular instead of parallel. Right? Can
I make a recommendation?
Yeah.
Hold on.
Let me just clarify what I was saying there. I've had a very long day, and I was saying perpendicular when I meant to say parallel. I am correcting myself.
Did somebody remind you? Who was that?
Somebody in my chat said that I meant that, and yes, they're right.
Somebody reminded you because
I was saying the wrong word. Correct, because
perhaps I should talk with the person that's correcting you.
Beverly, there is nothing wrong with correcting yourself when you realize you have said something wrong. I realized that I said parallel, perpendicular.
Somebody corrected you.
I'm still talking. I'm still talking. Right? Shut your mouth.
Even though I'm
still talking. I'm still talking.
I tried to help
I'm
you.
still in the middle of saying words. I'm still in the middle of saying words. So shush. Right? What I meant was parallels when I said perpendiculars. I made a mistake. I am admitting that I made a mistake and said the wrong word. Someone in my chat reminded me, Craig, I think you mean parallel there when you're saying perpendicular. And yes, they are right. I said the wrong word. That happens sometimes. But what I did was I admitted I was wrong, and now we can move forward with the conversation.
Okay, so can we rewind then? And can I just make sure that, did you mean to say that verticals were perpendicular, or did you mean to say
I literally just clarified what I was saying, that I meant to say parallel instead of perpendicular. Okay. I just clarified that. I know that hearing is a problem.
So you did mean to say that verticals are parallel then, did you?
Can I make a recommendation?
Okay.
Because what this conversation lacks is any engagement with observational data. We can
I know.
And have observed for hundreds of years that verticals are not parallel to one another.
Yeah.
There is a phenomenon in surveying called deflection of the vertical.
Yeah, this is what I've been saying.
Instead of discussing, and also, if the Earth is spheroidal, then one vertical can be perpendicular to another. They just need to be 90 degrees apart on the surface of the Earth. So what Craig said is actually correct. It may not have been what he meant to discuss at the time.
Well, somebody corrected him. Somebody made him correct himself.
So
you meant to say parallel, didn't you?
Yes,
to clarify what I was saying.
As soon as observational evidence is brought into the discussion, you just want to discuss what Craig said. How about you discuss the evidence?
Nice save there, Tony.
So
well done.
To clarify once again, I made a mistake and I said perpendicular when I meant to say the word parallel. It happens sometimes.
Are you sure you meant to say the word parallel?
Beverly, I'm in the middle of talking. You have two ears and one mouth. Use them in that ratio. I am a very busy man with a very busy life. I go to the gym 6 days a week. I am tired at this time in the evening. I have a brand new puppy, which is very, very hard. I am tired. I made a mistake. We can now move on from that.
Vet, dude. Come on. He's a disabled vet, dude.
That's irrelevant. But the point is that verticals are not parallel to each other on the surface of the Earth. And that is what we should be discussing.
Oh. Have you been corrected once again? Have you been corrected for your correction? So are they perpendicular or are they parallel?
They're
gonna make
not
your mind up?
parallel on the surface of that's the
Okay,
point.
they're not, right?
No.
Are they
that's
perpendicular?
what I've
then?
been saying.
Are they perpendicular then?
They can be depending on the orientation.
Okay, jolly good.
Yeah, you
So
you
if
can
you
you
establish
can
a
have. Let me answer that
horizontal-
question properly. You can have one vertical perpendicular to another vertical on Earth. Absolutely, but there is no verticals on Earth that are parallel to each other.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So you were
Horizontals-
correct when you said perpendiculars to start off with, then.
Well,
So who is that corrected you? I'd be telling them off. That
No
sounds
one
really stupid, doesn't it?
No. Again, Bev, you can have verticals that are perpendicular to each other. You can have that on Earth. When I was saying no, you can't have that because I got the words wrong, right? But what you can't have is verticals that are parallel to each other. Because we know verticals diverge. Deflection of the horizontal. This is something that PhD Tony literally just told you about. We know that plumb bobs diverge. This is a measured phenomena. We have real-world data and observations that show that plumb bobs diverge away from each other.
Right, that's nice. With
Wait, hold on. I need to clarify once more. Rumpus has
here we
corrected
go.
me. You can have a vertical
Rumpus?
that is
Wow.
You can have a vertical that is parallel to another vertical if they are opposite sides of the Earth to each other. That's the only time that can happen.
Wouldn't that be the same line, though?
Yeah, and they would be parallel to each other.
You can't have the same straight line parallel to itself. That's ridiculous.
You can.
Are you sure Rumpus is the best person to be advising you?
Yeah, parallel can literally be on top of each other. They're still parallel to each other, just with a separation of zero.
A measurement of zero.
Separation of 0.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But you'd need two lines, and if
So
there's a
anyway,
separation of zero, then
let's
that's
talk
not two
about real
lines.
world. Let's
You
talk about
failed
real
again,
world.
Craig, but don't
I
worry
didn't
about
fail
it.
anything there. Let's talk about real world observations and data that show that plumb lines diverge. That verticals diverge away from each other. That one person's vertical is not another person's vertical. Let's discuss that. Real world observations.
Okay.
Okay. So we have real world observations. It's been measured.
Do you?
Yes, I can present you with many papers. Would you like to see them?
A plumb line is stationary, right? It needs to be stationary, otherwise it's a pendulum.
and two people's plumb bobs will diverge away from each other at the top. That is what I am saying.
Mm-hmm.
And we have measurements
So
of that.
you're saying you can't actually have a horizontal between two verticals, then?
Not on Earth, no.
No. But
So-
you can.
So no, you can't.
Can't you?
Again,
Yeah, of course you can. You can have a horizontal that extends across two verticals. In
No,
reality,
not on Earth in reality, no, because it would not be horizontal at both points. It would not be 90 degrees to each vertical. So that horizontal would not be perpendicular to each of the verticals.
well, horizontal is perpendicular to vertical.
At a local point, yeah. So the horizontal would be perpendicular.
Why did you just say it can't
the
be?
horizontal? Because it can't be. It cannot be perpendicular.
is.
It cannot be perpendicular to both ends. It will only be perpendicular to a vertical in the center of the line.
Oh.
Yes, because the Earth is curved. Now,
But
let's
you
again.
can have a perpendicular at each
Beverly,
end, right?
Beverly.
Sounds a bit contradictory.
Beverly.
Like when you go from
Beverly,
yeah, very good.
Beverly.
If you can
Beverly.
have a perpendicular
Beverly.
at A
Beverly.
and B,
Beverly.
like you
Beverly.
said.
Beverly.
Why did you swap it to the
Beverly.
centre? Why did you?
Beverly.
Why
Beverly.
did you moan
Beverly.
at it?
Beverly.
Why did you
Beverly.
moan at it? I don't know. I
Beverly.
don't know who that is you're talking to.
Beverly.
Where you're just
Beverly.
randomly saying some strange words.
Beverly.
I
Calm
haven't
down.
got a clue who that is,
Beverly,
Craig.
calm down.
We went
Deep
from
breath,
A
deep
to
breath,
B, and
Beverly,
we had a
Beverly, I'm
perpendicular
trying
at
to talk.
each of them.
Beverly.
And then all of a sudden, you had the one in the centre that was perpendicular.
Yeah, that's the only one that's going to be
What happened to the
perpendicular.
ones that are A and B that were perpendicular?
They're not perpendicular to the line. They're not horizontal. The horizontal is
That's
not
where we
perpendicular.
initially established the horizontal.
Well, it's not going to be horizontal. Then it won't be horizontal to both of them. Right. Now, Beverly, what we're going to do is we're going to focus
horizontal. I don't know.
Beverly,
I'm not too sure you should be doing this, Craig.
We are going to focus on real world measurements.
You seem to be calling for some woman or something. I haven't got a clue, Craig.
Right. We are going to focus on real world...
You think you're going through one of your episodes at the minute?
We are going to focus on real world observations.
Have to just disappear.
Are you listening?
Well, you can focus on whatever you want, Craig.
You and I, in this conversation now, are going to focus on real world observations.
You're talking to some other person.
Yeah, I'm talking to you, Beverly, so calm down. Right?
No, I see. That's not me. You keep mistaking.
It certainly
Craig.
is you, Beverly. It certainly is you.
Well, right. I'm going to get going, and then you can have your conversation.
Are you going to run away?
With this,
are you going to run away as soon as I want to talk about real world observations? Is that what's going to happen?
You're talking to some other person that I'm not. You're not talking to me, Craig.
Oh, chill out,
so
Beverly,
there's no
please.
point in me actually being here.
I'm literally talking to you.
About it.
I'm talking to you, Beverly, right now.
Okay. I'll see you next time.
Are you going to run away?
It's been fun chatting.
Are you going to run away, Bev?
With I'm not running anywhere, Craig.
You're about to run away now, Bev,
I'm going to give you space to talk to this.
You're going to run away, aren't you, Bev?
Want to talk to? I'm not going to run anywhere.
Paul,
I'm
Paul,
just
are you running
leaving
away?
To give you space to talk.
Paul, are you running away?
Lady that you want.
Paul,
to talk
are you running away, Paul?
All right. See you later.
Yeah, you're rage quitting because you don't want to talk about real world observations.
Rage quit.
Rage quit.
Oh, dude, that's wow.
Yeah, I said the wrong word. All right, I am really fucking tired. I've had a very, very long day, and I've had a bit of a headache. And I said the wrong word. I said perpendicular when I meant to say parallel. Whoopsie, I made a mistake. But what I did was I noticed the mistake. People pointed it out, and I explained. And instead of just doubling down on my mistake, but what I like to show there is that Beverly, the only way that he can debate is by arguing over words and repeating the same thing over and over again and again and again and again. And when you want to talk about real world observations, what he does is he runs away like the Beverly that he is. I request that everyone only ever refer to him as Beverly, as that is his name. Well, Demon Strike. That was fun.
I'm suing you for the brain damage you have given me.
Well, that was something.
Oh goodness!
I've seen a bunch of debates between Craig and Bev, and that's all Bev does is rehash the same stuff, and then rage quits.
That's only the third time I've ever talking to him. Actually, the first time he tried to treat it like a court of law, and I had to have objections, which was weird. The second time he just shouted at me for me saying that he treats his son badly, and then this time he just rage quit after me trying to talk about real world observations and not liking being with Beverly. Oh no, he called me a girl's name. I'm gonna run away.
If I said I saw more than 3 debates, I'm sorry, but
it's all right. I do know that APOC wanted to have a conversation with me if he's around. I know he also said that he's busy, so he doesn't appear to be here.
Yeah, I actually have a question for that also. So, what is the mechanism that causes the Earth to be flat? That's a question I've been rattling around in my head.
There is none. That's the thing. There's no reason for the Earth to be flat.
Yeah.
Sean G says he's only going to refer to me as the lesbian. I mean, I do like ladies. I 100% admit that I am thoroughly attracted to girls. So you call me a lesbian if you want. I'm cool with that. And in case anyone is wondering about what Bev was going on about, because this is something that Nathan Oakley and people are chucking around right now about my criminal convictions. And yes, I do have 2 charges for assault. One for my neighbor that lives upstairs because of the recent thing of him stealing my wife's bike and there being a big thing. The other for an incident where a woman got road rage on me and came at me screaming, so I poked her with my walking stick to stop her coming at me and got charged for assault for doing that. So yeah, I absolutely do have 2 charges for assault, but neither of them are like, you know, me actually doing bad shit.
Yeah, both of those sound justified, and you would have been justified literally hitting her with it instead of just poking her.
Sean G says that I look like a lesbian. Sean, that's not very nice. What specifically?
I used to drive a Subaru.
Does that make you a lesbian? I don't know.
Yeah, most of them drive Subarus.
Hey, Sean, why don't you come in and tell me why you think I look like a lesbian?
I have a lot of cats too.
Probably the haircut.
Hey, I have a bunch
attitude.
of cats, so I resemble that remark.
Yeah, I have
would
3
say
cats.
probably like that. I would say the haircut and the attitude, probably.
What about my attitude? It makes me a lesbian.
Just the whole demeanor of how you have conversations. Just boring.
In what way is that a lesbian?
No, it's just when I listen to you, it's just I see a lesbian. You have that look.
I disagree. I've known Craig for a while.
You see a married man that's been married for like 17 years with 2 kids on screen as a lesbian.
I'm not saying you are a lesbian. He said you just look like one.
In what way do I look like a lesbian?
I just said. Again.
Yeah, Daz.
You said it's how he acts, and then you'll say how he looks.
Yeah, you said about my demeanor and how I act in these debates. So explain how that makes me.
The first time you say how he acts.
Hey, it makes about as much sense as calling Bev Beverly.
In that guy's defense, though, I'm on team Glober here, but in that guy's defense, I have seen lesbians that kind of have the same look as Craig. Not saying Craig's a lesbian, but
take off my glasses.
Yeah, I didn't say you were a lesbian.
The same sort of hair,
I didn't actually say you were a lesbian. I said you just look like one.
Yeah, but you also said the way I act makes me. But dude, what you said was the way you act.
Attitude. Yeah,
so you're saying that all lesbians have snide attitudes?
No, just you.
Perhaps not go about casting gross mischaracterizations of demographic groups based on sexuality or gender.
Hey Tony,
I'm not accusing.
Why didn't you speak up when Craig was doing it?
When I was doing what?
I'm not actually
calling Beverly and knowing that he didn't like you doing it, and that's why he left. That's not his name.
He wasn't calling him a lesbian. That's why.
Okay, well.
But he was calling him by a female name, and Bev said something, and he didn't care.
Okay.
I notice nobody cares about your morals, Tony.
People do care about Tony's morals. Actually, I think he's right.
Nobody cares about you. I actually would.
But then why aren't you speaking up when when Craig says stuff? Aren't you speaking up? Why are you doing it now when I said something?
Actually, your narcissism is showing because I wasn't just talking to you. If I had been talking to you, I would have used your name. I was talking to the chat in general.
Only spoke up about what I was saying.
Talking to the chat in general.
Now.
And
not when it was going on before.
You're trying to grandstand.
Can you?
Yeah,
can
it's
people
weird.
Please not talk over me?
Just give Tony a chance to speak.
Hold on, let's let Tony get his whole point
And
out.
also, I do consider it disrespectful of Craig to have insisted on using a name that Bev didn't like being called by. I do think that was disrespectful. I don't think that he should have done it. I think it gave Bev an excuse to lead the debate.
A reason.
I think it was rude. And I was going to make that point, but I just feel like everybody's talking about whether or not somebody looks like a particular group with a particular sexual proclivity. It's not helpful. Please stop doing it. And
I absolutely agree with Tony that I was rude, but I intended to be rude too.
My point, so I did.
Right, let me clarify. Yeah, I know calling Beverly was rude and childish, but he deserves it and nothing more.
But it gets the views. Who cares? That's all it's about. You just get your views. That's all you do.
But the fact is, if he gets that triggered about being called a silly name, when I spend all the time being called other things by people just deal with it. If you can't handle being called a silly name on the internet, then maybe the internet isn't for you.
I can attest
well,
to
maybe
that.
if you're here to have a conversation, then why wouldn't you just leave that out of it?
Leave what out of it? I was here to troll Bev because he's a horrible, disgusting individual, and I did what I exactly meant to do.
Okay, well, see, then that, yeah, well, then what Tony was saying is basically for no reason, because that's what you're purposely doing it. So it just makes it even more that pathetic.
It's very different to calling me a lesbian and saying that I act like
no,
a
it's not at all. You know,
it is.
I was literally making a point, and you sit here and go, I can talk all the shit I want to people and say whatever I want because I want to. That's all you're saying.
Yeah, again, I never argued with you about, I didn't have a go at you for calling me a lesbian. I was asking you to clarify your position as to how my attitude is like a lesbian. And what you did was you then tried to give an entire group of people one particular characteristic, which was a bit rude. No, because I asked you specifically. Hold on. I gave you a specific reason. Sean, let me respond. Generalizing. Sean, let me respond. Right. What you did was you said
he has to do it to make it seem like now I'm the problem.
Yeah,
let's just dismiss
let me just finish what I'm saying.
Yeah, you do it on purpose to troll people.
Yeah, let me finish
what
I'm
saying.
I
don't really care. You don't have to explain to me. You don't need to explain to me.
Please, I'd like to finish what I'm saying.
What I said when you sit here doing it on purpose without even questioning it. All
right.
Let me finish what I'm saying. Right.
Let's cool it down a bit. We've been hashing the same point for like 10 minutes now.
Yeah, this is meta.
Yeah. A lot of flat Earth debates recently haven't been getting anywhere.
Because there is no debate about the flat Earth. The Earth is definitely.
Yeah, I know, but that's the reality of it. Yelled at each other for like 15 minutes and then it stopped.
Shouting matches and stuff.
That's the reality of it now. And Craig said it himself. He didn't come here to have a conversation. Maybe he may put it out there.
I know Bev doesn't.
Or a discussion, but he said it. But he literally said it himself. He didn't come here to have a discussion. He came here to troll Bev.
Yeah, because Bev comes here to troll people, so I do it back to him. Bev didn't come here with the intention of having a conversation. Bev came here with the intention of going, horizontals are parallel. That's it, over and over and over, and trolling people, pretending that he's not a flat earther and that's it. So what I did was I did it back to him, and that's what I will always do to people like Bev. Yeah.
He also came here because he probably wanted to talk about Craig's personal life and what happened. I think that's what he really wanted to talk about.
Yeah. He spent a lot of time recently slagging me off about my personal life and the things that happened. So I encourage people to come here and talk about my personal life with me, to me, instead of doing it when I'm not here.
It wasn't. But the thing is, it wasn't like Bev did it. So then Craig decided that's what he was going to do. If you look in the Fight the Flat Earth part of the channel, you can see them both going back and forth at it.
What?
If Bev
so if that's the case, then don't call it a discussion. Just call it, hey, inviting Bev over to troll him.
Well, you know that I title every one of my debates "debate" with inverted commas, right?
Look, if Bev is making fun of Craig or whatever, that's pretty messed up.
But it's not messed up that Craig does it to him, right?
If Bev starts it, then I mean, if Bev starts it, then Craig.
Hey, look, at the end of the day, it's funny. His name is Bev, which sounds like Beverly. It's funny.
It's really not funny.
It really is.
It's really not.
Gregory.
I've gotten teased for my name. I've been called Blindina. And it's
I think it's hilarious when people call me different things. And I do it as well. I thought it was funny. So did a bunch of my chat.
I did too.
Yeah, of course. You and your fanboys did. It was the greatest thing ever. But for people who are listening,
it was quite funny.
For a discussion, it sounds like this is a shit show.
Oh, well, when Bev is involved, it absolutely is going to be a shit show. You're right, because Bev is a horrible, horrible person. It
was really tough to listen to because it just didn't really get anywhere, and it was just pedantic stuff. It was it's tough to listen to stuff like that.
That's like the same. That's like the same shit. That's like the same shit NC2 did. It's like you set this whole thing up just to make a shit show. It's fucking ridiculous.
Well, last night, I'm not sure if that was the intent last night. I don't know that dude that he went in there.
Not talking about last night. I'm just talking about in general.
In general, I wouldn't say that.
Yeah, I'd say in general.
You know, this whole thing is just entertainment,
show
right?
for entertainment is boring.
Yeah. I disagree with you there.
Yeah.
Yes,
well,
yes, they do say it. Yes, they do say it's entertainment for smart people, but he doesn't go in there just to make fun of people and do this and that. I mean, he's more, attacking the arguments a little bit more than.
And it's not like I was making fun of him. I was just calling him a different name.
Yeah, you were making fun of him.
Is more patient.
It's fucking boring. Yeah. It'd be more interesting listening to you, Craig, because you're a smart dude. It'd be more interesting you talking about the facts and talking about the data rather than.
I tried to talk about the facts. Every time I tried to talk about the facts, he changed the subject.
Yeah,
most of the debates I've seen,
you keep it on topic. Right. And you show the data. If you get it. If you keep it on topic and you show the data, it says him on it.
I was trying to get to that part of the conversation, right? But every time I started trying to have the conversation about the data, he would just go back to the parallel, vertical, horizontal, nonsense that he tries to disprove the Earth with. So no matter what I do, we won't be able to get to that part of the conversation because Beverly in particular doesn't want that conversation. So the only thing that is left is to have some entertainment.
Yeah,
it's not entertaining. That's the issue. It's not entertaining.
That's how every one of your conversations go, and it really isn't conversation. It's like it's literally, yes, it is. And
it's not.
Like it's just like
look at my conversation with Journalism. Look at my conversation with Rachie. Look at my conversation with Blue. I've had hundreds of conversations that are not like that.
You're really just a clone of Red's rhetoric. That's all it really is.
No, I'm nothing like Red's rhetoric.
Plenty of debates.
I am nothing like Red's rhetoric.
It's completely cordial and awesome.
No, I'm really nothing like Red's rhetoric in the slightest.
No.
Red's rhetoric.
When it comes to talking to flat earthers, flat earthers, yes, you do.
No, I'm very much not like Red.
I
need to make it.
We can move on.
Tony wants to say something.
Go ahead, Tony.
Yeah. Okay. Sean, is it your you make points, and I sympathise with your points. I think that Craig was disrespectful. I think it gave an excuse for the conversation to degenerate. But Craig has his reasons for not accepting your advice. So just belabouring him and repeating the same point over and over again is really counterproductive. You've expressed your opinion. Craig has rejected it.
Talking to me about it. I'm going to respond it back.
Well, I don't think either of them came here with the intention to have a genuine conversation.
That's not a conversation. That's just endless noise.
You're being a hypocrite, Tony.
Let's move onwards.
What are you talking about? What I'm saying is not pointless noise. Not at all. At all. It's not even a little bit. Sorry, Tony.
As you were, literally, if anyone on the planet gave a fuck about what you think, you wouldn't be here.
Oh, I can guarantee you they do. I guarantee you there are more than one person in this room and listening that agree with what I'm saying right now.
I wasn't talking to you.
Not me.
I was talking to as you were.
I'm on Craig's side.
Cry more, buddy. Cry more. It's okay.
Dude, I've known Craig long enough that he's absolutely right about his debate.
Maybe a little clarification is needed on this entire situation. I don't know if any of you realize, but before the stream, Bev was literally calling me horrific, horrible things. So the notion that I should give Bev any kind of... hold on. The notion that
both of you were going back and forth.
No, I didn't say anything about Bev before the stream, right? And let me finish what I'm saying.
You want me to read it?
Let me finish what I'm saying.
It's in your channel.
Let me finish what I'm saying.
I'll read it in your channel.
Sean, can I not finish what I'm saying?
Mute Sean because he just interrupts everybody. Like he stayed quiet while I was talking, but then as soon as Craig tries to say anything,
thanks,
just
Tony.
cuts in. Please.
Yeah. So Bev, before the stream, before any of this has started, he was on his own Discord, on his own channel, calling me horrible, horrific things. So the notion that I should give Bev any kind of respect is non-existent. Beverly is a horrible, horrible person. In fact, he is one of the most toxic individuals that I have come across in this entire discussion. He says horrible things about not just me, but about other people. He is homophobic. He is anti-LGBT. He is a horrible, horrible person. And he spent about an hour slagging me off before this debate. So the way that I treated him was more respect than he deserved.
The audience wasn't there before the debate.
And?
Well, you're just getting one side.
Yeah, so why did you drag it on to here? It seems so dumb.
I didn't drag it on. I just treated him with the respect he deserved.
Because you just said he got to be an hour before the stream. So what? This is not that event.
I was
this
explaining my attitude. I was explaining
right.
why I gave him the respect that I did.
That it's dumb for you to bring it to here.
No, what I did was I gave him the respect he deserved. That's it. That's all I did. Respect isn't something that's handed to people automatically. Respect is something that is earned. And therefore, I gave him the respect that he had earned.
I'm sorry. I think Bev deserves everything he gets because Bev definitely deserves anything that he gets because he, if you ever actually try and have a conversation with him, he's probably one of the most disingenuous people you can ever talk to.
Well, I don't know about viewers, but I know a lot of people that are listening in right now. A lot of people came in expecting to listen to a conversation about what Bev's chat he says and the stuff that Craig says. Right? Again, I've already said this. Craig's smart. Craig can easily fucking have a discussion and talk about the facts that make Bev look stupid just because Bev says stupid shit.
Yeah, I did that.
To take it, what you guys were doing, but what you guys did before the stream, to take it to here for the people that were waiting for a conversation and to hear Bev sound stupid and make himself look stupid with the information he doesn't really have, got to listen to a shit show that sounded ridiculous.
Yeah, but I did. I did counter his information. I did debunk the things that he was saying, but I also treated him like he deserved and provided entertainment for people. That is it.
You let yourself be dragged into the personal bullshit because that's what Bev wanted from the start, and you bite it.
Oh, I called him Beverly. I called him Beverly. That's it. That's all that I did.
Do you know what he hates being called more than Beverly?
What?
I mean, Craig probably hates his criminal record being brought up. Bev didn't care about that.
Do you know what he hates being called more than Beverly?
What?
Being called his actual he gave everybody.
Oh, Paul.
And the best thing is if Bev would have stayed here, Bev would have got the same shit too, because bringing that personal shit to the conversation makes it a shitty show for people who want to hear a discussion. That's all there is to it.
Well, when it comes down to it, Bev is just not the person to have a conversation like that with.
Yeah.
It's just not
maybe you haven't. Hold on, one sec, guys.
And the thing is,
Sean, hold on, one sec, please. Sean, hold on, give me 1 sec.
And came to Seoul.
Sean, hold on, give me 1 sec.
It was a planned shit show.
Sean, hold on, right. Yeah. Maybe you haven't had conversations with Bev before, right? Maybe you aren't aware of the kind of person that he is. But this is how. This was literally
for years.
This was literally the best. This is literally the best conversation that you can have with Beverly. That's it. There is no proper conversation. It doesn't happen with him.
What?
Because he is a troll.
Beverly. I mean,
I've been talking to him for 4 years, and I've never had to go. Me and him have never had a personal attack argument like you guys just had. And I'm talking for 4 years.
There are people who love them very much. There are people who love them.
No, hang on.
I've not met anyone that likes him.
I've known him, like I said, I've known him for years, and I've had conversations, and never once did it have to go to personal attacks.
When did I personally attack him?
I know exactly how full of shit Bev is. I know exactly how full of shit he is.
When did I personally attack? All I did. Let's be clear, all I did was call him Beverly. That's it. And Paul, which is his name.
That is it.
But Sean, has he done some of the things that he's done to other people?
No.
Like, you know what he did to me?
I've never, like I said, I've never had a personal attack with him.
You know what he did to me?
People, hang on, people. I'm not even defending him.
Right.
That's the thing. I'm not defending
You
him.
are.
You totally are, dude.
Fuck you, no, I'm not.
You
How
are.
the fuck am I defending him?
Right, anyway, this conversation
he's
is a
lying,
bit
man.
pointless,
I'm glad.
right? Right, this conversation's a bit
Craig,
pointless.
No.
I
want to know
achieved
how
what I
I'm
meant to
defending Bev.
today, right? I destroyed Beverly's nonsense,
I know you did.
right? And I got him to rage quit and run away, which I quite enjoyed doing. All right, so I'm happy with how today went. If you didn't enjoy how today went, then that's fine. There's a complaints form you can fill out on FTFE.com. Please give it to me and I will throw it in the bin.
Can I just
I
say,
think it's
before
because
Craig
Sean-
started calling him Beverly, he was repeatedly, deliberately misunderstanding what Craig was saying. And you could see gradually that he was getting more and more over-talking and then refusing to understand what Craig was saying. And you could see that Craig was getting more justifiably annoyed. And eventually, because Craig repeatedly refused to understand what Craig was saying willfully, I can understand Craig getting a bit miffed and then starting to...
I mean, I don't think I got annoyed on
Perfect reason for it, I guess so, yeah.
But anyway, this part of the conversation is pointless.
Fucking middle school for no reason.
Anyway.
Go ahead, people.
Right.
Are there any flat earthers in here? Where's all the flat earthers?
There's no flat earthers. I destroyed them all.
Gary is listening. He's still there, but I just want to say, Sean, I sympathise with your position, but you've stated your position, and if you want it done better, start your own YouTube channel. That's fine.
No. I'll do it here too. I'll give my opinion wherever I like, Tony, just like everyone else does.
I think what it is that Sean probably wanted a better conversation. I think that's what it is.
It's not going to happen with Beverly.
That's all it is.
I kind of think that everybody on FTFE's channel wants to do something other than hear Sean whine.
I don't give a fuck, and I don't give a fuck.
Right. So, hey, right, Sean. I'm planning to have a conversation with APOC, right? Apocryphon from the Asylum server, okay? Right.
Asylum.
That will be a conversation that is respectful, right? Because me and APOC, we've had lots of conversations back and forth. We've been nice to each other. It's respectful. We're friendly, right? And that is someone I can actually have a conversation with. But what you saw with Beverly is what will happen when Beverly is on the show. There is no other way that a show that includes that person can go apart from what you saw today. That's it. All I did was I allowed what was going to happen. I'm still talking. I'm still talking. Right?
Opposite your personality.
I'm still talking. Thank you. Right. All I did today was I allowed what was going to happen. That's it. If you don't like it, you don't have to be here. Okay?
Hey, Gary.
So you didn't into it at all.
That's a great idea.
Could we possibly hear from people, please?
All right, let's move on.
Gary, why don't you explain to Craig how EQ mount works on a flat Earth?
There we go.
The EQ mount doesn't work if the Earth is flat. It just doesn't.
Oh, no.
Or going east gets you to the equator by following the compass east.
There we go. Yeah, that's the one. That's the one.
Oh, Craig agrees with that one now. You know that, don't you?
Craig agrees with
what?
Craig,
how do you stay on your latitude?
How do you what?
East. How do you stay on your latitude?
How do you stay on your latitude? You would go east or west?
You would go directly east, due east, or would you go something different to stay up? Let's say you're on 40 degrees north latitude. How would you stay on it?
It depends on magnetic deviation because the North Pole isn't the same as magnetic North Pole.
How would you get to the equator?
How would you get to the equator?
Yeah, what direction would you fly to get to the equator if you were on 40 degrees north latitude?
You would fly south.
And you were just gradually flying to meet the equator at let's say it's the equinox, and you want to go to where
if you're anywhere above the equator, north of the equator, and you want to get to the equator, you fly south.
You would fly east.
No, if you are north of the equator and you want to get to the equator, you would fly south.
You would fly east. Where the sun rises is going to be over the equator.
No. If you are north of the equator and you want to get to the equator, that means you have to go the opposite direction to north, which is south.
Yes, but you're not answering the question correctly. Obviously, you can go due south and go to the equator, but then if you want to follow the equator, you got to do what?
Sorry, you turned into a Dalek there. Are you eating your microphone?
No, I'm talking just fast. Maybe you can't understand. I don't know.
Well, no, it sounded like
Okay,
you inserted your microphone.
Mike actually did go out, dude.
If you're north of
Mike
the
did
equator,
go
you can
out.
go due south and hit the equator. But if you wanted to follow the equator, and let's say from your latitude it was the equinox, right? You watch the sunrise, it's east, due east over the equator, right? So it's got a subsolar point that's on the equator. Now, if you want to get to that destination, which direction would you fly?
If you're on the equator and you want to go...
No, you're not on the equator. You're on 40 degrees, north latitude.
And you want to get to the equator, you would then fly south.
The sun is due east. No, you wouldn't. You would fly east to get to that point.
No, to get to the equator, if you are north of the equator, you fly south.
I would like to see that diagram out, actually.
You would not go south. You would go east.
No, you would go south to get... If you are north...
The subsolar point.
If you are north of the equator, to get to the equator, you go south.
It's the subsolar point, not the equator. He's talking about a specific point on the equator.
That's what I know. And he's trying to turn it into the other thing because he knows what the answer is.
Right. If you are north of the equator at any point, to get to the equator, you have to fly south or southeast or southwest.
Craig, he's talking about getting to a particular point on the equator. He didn't make that very clear, but that's what he's asking about.
Then you would have to fly southeast.
Craig and Gary for now.
No, you would fly east 90 degrees, and it would take you to the subsolar point where the sun rose on the equinox.
No,
from your position.
If you are north of the equator and you want to get to a certain point, if you're north of the equator and you want to get to a certain point on the equator that is east of that point,
I said the subsolar point of the sun when it rose.
I'm still talking. I'm in the middle of saying words, so shut the fuck up when I'm talking. Yeah, no, I'm still trying to talk. You keep over talking me when I'm trying to explain. If you are north of the equator at any point, right, and you want to get to any point on the equator, you will need to head south. Be it south, be it southwest, be it southeast, you would still have to head in a southerly direction. If you flew directly east at any point, you would follow the latitude line around.
Okay, let's say I fly direct. We'll make it simpler for you, Craig, since you're having problems understanding and you're not answering the actual question. So let's say you're just on 40 degrees.
I did just answer the question.
And you set your heading for due east. Where will it end up?
Sorry, where are you starting?
You're gonna follow your latitude, or you're gonna end up in the equator?
Hold on, Gary. I know it's between you two, Craig.
No. Let Craig. No. I'm talking to Craig. Let Craig answer the question.
I'm not going to answer it. Craig, think about what you said. If you go straight east on a globe, like if you was in orbit, and you're not on the equator, would you continue to follow the latitude line?
What you would?
You don't, Craig. You don't go. If you maintain the straight direction, you will not follow the latitude line.
Yeah,
changing it.
Yeah.
Right.
Just
so if you go east, if you have your setting east and you're on a latitude line, right, you're going to start following that. And then if you wanted to follow the latitude line, then you would have to adjust your heading as you go, right?
Yes.
And what would your heading be if you wanted to stay on 40 degrees north? What would your heading be?
Well, if you wanted to stay on that latitude, you would have to constantly adjust your heading.
The east.
Yes, but your heading would be what? Your general heading would be what? It's going to keep you adjusted
to
north.
Going where?
If you just want to stay on your latitude, what would you set your compass for?
East.
Your compass would, but your compass would change.
Oh, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't.
Every time I try to talk, you overtalk me. Right? If you are on your latitude line and you set your compass as east, right, and you keep following your latitude line, that compass won't keep pointing east. Right? It would.
No, if you keep following east, it's going to take you to the equator. You're going to cross all the latitudes at an equal angle until you hit the equator.
He's telling you that.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
In other words, east will not keep you on your latitude.
And that's what he was just saying.
That's exactly what I just said.
Actually on 90 degrees.
He was just telling you that, and you didn't listen.
Oh, calm down. Calm down.
That's literally what I've just said.
But then you'd be going south. What are you talking about?
No, you're going east. You're going to cut across. It's like changing lanes on a highway, right?
The straight path, you will go south. If you start off going east, you will cross the equator eventually if you just follow the same direction.
Yes, and then once you get to the equator,
Gary's in. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Gary, hold on a second. I just want to address the room here. Hold on a second. Gary's in here every single day. Gary, just stop by tomorrow. Go ahead, and this can be between Craig and FTF. Gary and FTF.
Sorry about my rooster. Making a bunch of noise. Okay,
yeah, put your cock away.
Yeah, he's free to roam. He doesn't go in until it's getting close to sunset. He's mad because I'm talking loud. So anyhow, if you're on 40 degrees north latitude, and you want to stay on that latitude, that would be, let's see, 40, you start from 90 at the equator. So that would be, let's see, 40, just stop and think, sorry.
It's really simple. You just simply have to keep.
Yeah, what would that be?
East.
60? No, that would be 50.
Using
50
your rudder.
degrees.
If you're on a ship,
you would set it for.
You would set it for.
Okay, calm down. I'm not talking to you. I got the answer.
Yeah, but I can resolve it in 2 seconds.
I'm talking to
east,
Craig.
You want to follow the latitude. You have to keep on making adjustments because your ship would go off the easterly direction. So you have to keep on nudging it to east.
Yes, because it's not east. No, you're going to keep nudging it to north of east.
No, you have
you're
to
going to end up
being east.
10 would be 80. So 70, 60.
No, you just
50.
keep going east.
You'd set it for 50 degrees north of east, and that would keep you on latitude as long as you follow that bearing.
No, you have to keep going east. You're constantly making it, or you can hold your rudder.
It's going to adjust. It's going to adjust to that bearing. It's going to keep you on your latitude.
You need to keep going east. You need to keep on following the compasses, which means to keep having to make rudder adjustments to follow that. Because if you keep the rudder, straight ahead, you will eventually cross the equator. So if you keep on adjusting it to be east, then you'll maintain that latitude.
If you keep on adjusting it to be east, you're going to end up at the equator. You got to be at for 40 degrees north latitude. You would have to have your compass set for 50 degrees north.
You wouldn't. You just made that up.
Sorry, that's not true.
No, it isn't because that's your latitude. That's equal to your latitude, and it'll keep you in that circle because you're going around a north point.
Going
the compass is going to keep that in the
by
center.
Adjusting it,
and it's going to
making
keep you
sure
staying
you
on your
follow the compass,
latitude.
you will maintain
Okay,
your
I'm
latitude.
right. You're going to stay on
Craig
your latitude.
Craig used to do this for a living. Craig, would you just like to tell him that?
Craig doesn't.
Yeah,
he just admitted it Darren recently. He knows good and well you would have to adjust if you were bearing east.
Hold on, Gary. I'm moderating. I'm not getting into conversation. Craig is here as a invite, as a guest. So let's let Craig and Gary do the back and forth for a while, and let's nobody else butt in. That's what Demon just said. So let's everybody else bite their tongues and let them two hash this out.
So, to clarify, if you are at 40 degrees north, right, and you set your heading at east, and you keep your heading east, then what's going to happen is you would literally form a spiral around the Earth heading south that would keep going south. So, yes, Gary is actually correct. Right, hold on, let me finish. Gary is actually correct that you wouldn't literally have to change your heading to south to go south, right? Because when you keep your heading as exactly east, you're not going to follow the latitude lines exactly. If you were to follow the latitude lines exactly, your compass will go from east to west to northeast to northwest back to east as you follow the latitude lines.
Hold on, Greg. You're telling me if I maintain and keep on making adjustments...
Hey, wait, it's my turn. This is between Craig and me. This is between Craig and me.
Hold on, let me just answer that. Sorry, what was that, Rumpus? Say again? Sorry, I didn't hear what Rumpus said. I did want to just answer that question.
Right, so if you follow the compass direction of east and you make sure that the boat is always pointing east, which will require you to keep on making adjustments or putting it in a fixed sort of slight angle to make you carry on east, you will maintain your latitude. It's only if you keep your rudder in the midships will you then start going south. But if you can maintain the compass bearing of east, you will follow the line of latitude. Surely. I mean, that is correct, Craig, surely.
That's correct.
Yes.
No, it isn't.
But you was just disputed that. You just said about.
Well, yeah, no. The problem is that it changes because of magnetic declination. Because the lines of latitude are not exactly in line
just for the
with
argument,
where.
Can we just assume that magnetic north and polar north are the same, celestial north are the same thing?
But they're not, and that's the problem, and that's what makes this difficult with trying to say keeping your heading in one particular way. Because because of the difference between magnetic north and actually the North Pole, it means that if to stay on your latitude line, you wouldn't always have your compass heading east because that would differ from the actual magnetic.
You've got to take into account the declination. I'm assuming you've done that. I'm assuming you've taken into account declination. And
what happens when you do that and you take the declination into account is that you would if you don't take the declination into account, and you just keep your heading as east, you end up forming a spiral towards the North Pole because it's off of the actual latitude lines. If the North Pole and the magnetic North Pole lined up, then yes, you would keep your heading exactly east to follow the latitude lines around. But unfortunately, the nuances of that aren't quite exactly as it should be. But as Goran Anderson says, a gyrocompass, however, would work differently because a gyrocompass works with the rotational axis, so would be a more accurate representation of what north, east, and west is, obviously.
Yes, okay. Shall we assume for this argument then we're using a gyrocompass for our directions, our cardinal directions then?
Okay, that works. Are you happy with that, Gary?
A lot easier.
No, and Rumpus is supposed to not even be in this thing.
I know, but I think that was helpful.
No, Craig, you actually started getting it right a minute ago. Then Rumpus got you going the other direction again. If you go east and you're on 40 degrees north latitude, it's gonna take you on, what do they call it, a rhombus line?
A rum line. A rum line.
Yeah. And it's gonna start taking. It's like you're gonna cross traffic. You're gonna merge over a few lanes until you get to the east, which would be 90 degrees over the equator, right? That's the equator, 90 degrees. And then once you hit that, it's going to keep you on that 90 degrees because that's your heading. And it's not going to cross that line because the compass is going to correct you. And you're going to follow that. So, but if you're on your latitude, you have to follow the degree on the horizon that the latitude is. So you would have to follow 50 degrees north of the east to keep on that latitude if you're on 40 degrees north. That's what would keep you on because it would adjust around the north as you circle around. It would either flat or your model. It doesn't matter. It would keep you in that. The north would stay in the center, and your compass would keep adjusting to keep you on the track for north of east at 50 degrees north of east, and that would keep you on that 40 degrees north latitude.
Let me just clear that in my head.
East is always going to be 90.
Yeah. I'm just going to clear that in my head a sec because obviously the problem with magnetic declination makes that. Yeah, so you're right.
Who cares about? You can disregard that as far as this goes.
Well, not really because that's what affects what your compass says, right? But
it's not going to make any difference. East is still going to take you to the equator, 90 degrees.
I'm not actually disagreeing with that because of the rum line, right? Because the nature of a rum line, and you set your heading as east, that's going to form a curve that will eventually be a spiral.
Well, if you can kind of say that, yeah, you're close.
Yeah, well,
you're gradually merging lanes.
So, if you were to imagine the rum line going from the equator to the North Pole, maintaining its heading of east or west, then it would.
We're talking about going east.
Yeah. Okay. So let's reverse that and think about going from the equator and going west and heading up towards the poles, right? What you would get,
and you go 270.
Yeah, what you would get is a spiral that leaves the equator a slight angle, but then gets more and more compact as it gets towards the North Pole, because of the nature of what a rum line is.
Well, yeah. Okay, let's say I wanted to leave the equator. I'm flying directly over the equator, and I want to get to 40 degrees north. What would I do? I would aim at 50 degrees north of east, and that would gradually take me on that rum line until I merged lanes into 40 degrees north latitude, and then it will keep me on from that point because I'm following the compass.
Yeah, and also you're
and it will cut
following
across each latitude at I think at an equal angle.
Right. Gary, I'm not disagreeing with you here. And I think the reason why what happens is because we have to take into account the nature of the surface that we're on, right? Because it's a spherical surface, that will naturally make that journey go that way. You can't. The only point on the surface of the Earth where you would be able to follow a latitude line by going exactly east and west is on the equator, right?
No.
Yeah,
no.
but I can stay on 40 degrees north by staying on 50
hold on,
degrees north.
Rumpus is saying
north
that's wrong, but
no, it isn't. You're right, Craig. You're on the right track now. Don't let Rumpus screw you up.
You will maintain your latitude if you assume that your eastern cardinal directions are correct. You have to make adjustments, of course, and don't let the rum line thing confuse you. Because when you go rum line, you follow a straight line, but we're assuming you don't do that. We're saying if you're on a 40 degrees north latitude and you keep on wiggling your rudder to make sure that you're always pointing east, you will maintain your latitude. I don't know quite why you're letting him confuse you, Craig.
No, you won't.
That is absolutely correct.
If you maintain east on your compass, it will take you to the equator. I don't care if you're in the south or the north.
No, it won't.
It's going to take you. It's going to take you on a rum line to the equator, and then it will keep you. Once you merge onto the equator, you will follow it in a straight line.
You're completely wrong, Gary.
No,
Craig,
the only way to maintain your latitude is actually to fly your latitude, and that would be 40 degrees north would be 50 degrees north of east.
No, it'd be 90 degrees. It would be 90 degrees. Maintain 90 degrees and follow the latitude.
So then what degree would I fly then to get to the equator from there? 90? The equator's 90. Come on. How about I get to the equator from 40 degrees north? Would I fly east?
No, you can plot infinite points around that 40 degree latitude with lines pointing at 90 degrees. They're all good. It's going to take you east.
Hold on.
Yeah, it's going to take you east on that latitude all the way around.
Craig, don't let
Craig's on the right track.
Right. So if we are to ignore any kind of magnetic declination and everything, then
we're doing that.
Right. Then if you are at on any latitude line, right, the only way to stay on that latitude line and use the cardinal directions of east and west, which would be the latitude line, would be to change your rudder, right? The only way to hold on. The only point on the Earth where you could go east or west without altering your rudder heading would be at the equator.
That's correct. You've got it now.
The only thing that makes Gary right is if you started off going east and then you put your compass away and didn't follow it anymore.
Yeah. That's what. Okay, right. That's the problem, right?
No. That
Gary,
will take you to the equator and keep you going straight, yes. But if you're following the compass, it will take you to the equator and then keep you over it once you reach that. Once you merged into that lane, it'll keep you in that lane.
No. So
because
Gary,
you're following the compass, which is 90 degrees east. No. It's what is it? 0 in the north, 90 in the east. It's 180 in the south. It's 270 in the west, and 360 in the north.
Right. So no, if you were to keep
those are the cardinal directions.
If you were to keep your compass pointed exactly east or west, right, you would stay. I mean, obviously, ignoring magnetic declination. Hold on. Hey, hold on. Let me finish what I'm saying. Right. Let me finish what I'm saying. Let me finish what I'm saying, please. Right. If you are at 40 degrees latitude, at north latitude, right, and you go east, right. If you point your compass east and then you put away your compass, which is what I thought you meant, right?
No.
I'm still talking, Gary. I'm still talking. Right, be quiet until I'm done. Okay? Don't interrupt. Right. So if you're at north latitude, 40 degrees north latitude, right, and you point east, you put your compass away and you keep in that heading that you originally had, you will circle towards the equator. However, if you use your compass and keep that compass pointing east, you will follow your latitude line.
No, you won't.
Craig, no, great.
The only
By
way
the
to stay on your latitude is actually to stay on your latitude.
Clive Wells and PhD Tony in the chat agreeing with me, Craig. So I'm correct here. And
Craig keeps changing back and forth, so Craig's confused.
He's there. Craig has got it now.
He's changed at least twice now back to the other one.
Gary, I was confused by what you were saying. Right?
Yeah,
Craig is
you
confused.
confused him. He knows what he thinks.
Gary,
Hold on, Gary.
Let
me say,
Gary,
hold
right,
on,
one
let me say
sec.
something real quick.
Right, I thought Gary was talking about, having it east and just keeping on that heading, right? If you keep your heading, if you actually have your compass in front of you and you keep it pointing east, which would require you to alter your heading, you would follow your latitude lines.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to say real quick. Gary, imagine you got a ball. It could be any ball. It could be a basketball, a bowling ball, whatever. If you take a flat piece of ribbon, say a 5-foot-long piece of flat ribbon, something that is soft and bendable but flat, say 2 inches wide or whatever, and you start laying it out halfway between the equator of that ball and, say, the north pole of that ball, the northernmost point, and you start laying the ribbon out straight east, just like you're wrapping it around the ball. If you keep it on that same latitude line around that ball, what you'll notice is one side of that ribbon will lay flush against the ball, but the other side of that ribbon will bunch up. That's because a ribbon cannot curve side to side. It can bend around things, but it can't curve. And in order to stay on a latitude line, if you followed your compass, you have to curve. And that's why if you follow your heading on your compass, you will have to constantly make adjustments and curve to stay on that latitude line. If you do not, you will find yourself beginning to travel on a great circle route on an inclined orbit of the ball that you're going around.
So Weiskopf has actually posted a perfect picture showing what we mean, right? I was confused. I thought Gary meant that he was just following the original heading, but no. If you follow the original heading, then you're no longer just going east, right? If you look at the picture that Weiskopf has posted, I'll make it bigger on my screen so everyone can see it, right? If you are at 40 degrees north latitude and you go east and you keep following that, you are no longer just going east. You start going southeast, and that will get you towards the equator. If you were to go
which is east, it's taking you to east. Thank you.
Again, it's not east; it's southeast. Your compass.
Yeah, but it's taking you like
hold
I
on,
said.
Gary. Hold on, Gary. Chill, Gary. Wait. Your compass will not be pointing east as you follow this route.
Your compass, you're going to be following your compass. It's saying east, and it's going to take you on that run. What did you call it again?
If you follow your compass. Yeah.
It's going to take you.
Follow your compass. You will maintain on the latitude.
It's like you're merging across lanes, and it's going to take you to the equator because
only if you start going southeast, like I said at the beginning.
It has to go that way, Craig, because it's taking you to the east.
Yeah, but your compass no longer points east. Gary, your compass no longer points east, though. That's the point.
Yes, it would be.
No, it wouldn't.
You keep following east, it's going to take you to the equator.
No, you're not going east.
You would have to, Craig. The only way to stay on your latitude is
Gary,
to stay
look at
on
the picture.
Your latitude.
Look at the picture. Gary, look at the picture, right? It starts off east, but you start going southeast, right? If you keep your compass pointing east,
you're not going south of east.
Gary, I'm still talking. Gary, I'm still talking. Gary, I'm still talking. Gary, I'm still talking. Right? It's amazing how you complain about me interrupting, but you've literally done nothing but interrupt me this entire time.
Okay, you interrupt all the time. Don't.
Yeah, but it's amazing how you complain about me doing it, yet you do it more than me. So, right?
Gary, just let me finish, please.
Gary, now be quiet while I'm talking. Okay? Gary, be quiet. I'm talking. Thank you. Right.
Okay, Cupie, go ahead.
Gary, be quiet. I'm talking. Good boy.
You got my permission, Cupie.
Gary, Shh.
Come on, Cupie.
Gary, right. Someone mute him for me, please.
Cupie.
Fucking grass, man.
If you mute me, I'm gonna hang up.
You gotta. If you mute him, he'll leave. You just gotta not address his bullshit and just try. And
I'm just gonna mute him on my side so I can't hear him whilst I'm trying to talk. Then, right. So you're currently muted for me, Gary. I'll unmute you when I finish talking. Yeah. So as this picture that Weiskopf posted shows, if you go east initially, and you keep going that initial direction, and you put your compass away, you don't keep going east. This line does not keep you going east. This starts to go southeast to get you to the equator. If you want to go completely east, it will follow the latitude line around the Earth, mostly ignoring magnetic deviation. That is the facts of it, Gary. I'm now going to unmute you so you can speak.
Thank you, QP. If you take a heading of east, you can put your compass away if you want, as long as you can maintain that bearing. It's going to take you to the equator, because the equator is east.
Yeah, but you won't be
Nothing
going
else
east
is east
anymore.
other than 90 degrees, Craig.
Right. Okay. So
nothing else is. So it's going.
Gary,
Like,
so
Craig, you quit interrupting me, Craig. You don't like it now. You're
finished talking,
doing the
and I was
same
asking
thing.
a question. So
No. Well, that's what I do to you, but you don't like it. You call it interrupting. So don't do it.
Gary, so let me ask you a question.
Hey, QP.
If you're going along this line, if you're going along this line, Gary, right, Gary, Gary, so if you're going, I'm asking you a question to move the conversation forward, Gary. So if you are following this line, right, and you are pointing directly forward, following this line, and halfway along your journey, you get your compass out, what direction is that compass going to say you're going?
If I kept going straight, it's going to keep me it's going 90. And I'm going to meet at where the GP point would have been looking at my horizon on the east from the start.
You didn't answer my question.
That's where it's going to merge.
You didn't answer my question.
I'm crossing lanes.
You didn't answer my question.
As I'm going. I'm crossing lanes.
You didn't answer my question.
Okay, I'm answering your question. Well, I'm telling you what's going on. You're just wanting me to answer a question.
It was a yes or no question.
I don't care what your question is, Craig.
Oh, you don't care what my question is, so you don't want to have the conversation.
If you fly at 90 degrees and you're on 40, you start on 40, you take a heading of 90 degrees east. It's going to cross lanes. It's going to cross over the latitudes until it
but your compass will not keep pointing east,
and then it's going to go straight ahead. It's going to correct you for that. That's it.
But your compass
will
not keep pointing east,
line and cross the equator, because then you would be going south of east.
Your compass will not keep going east, though.
If you passed the equator and didn't adjust according to your compass, yes, then you would be going south of east. But not till that point. And you're not going to go to that point because you're following your compass, which is going to take you to the equator. And then you're going to maintain because your compass
No, if you're following your compass, which is pointing east, you won't go to the equator.
Yes, you will. 90
no, you
won't.
Won't.
You can't do anything else.
If you're following east, it will go around the latitude line, mostly ignoring magnetic deviation.
It won't.
Yes, it
will. To stay
will.
on your latitude, you have to actually fly your latitude, which would be, to stay on 40, you would have to fly 50 degrees north of east.
No, and that 90 degrees, Gary. 90 degrees.
No, that will take you in a circle as you adjust for north.
Gary, at every point,
Gary,
hold on.
Circle, it's going to be the same thing.
Gary, at every point,
on your latitude.
Gary, are longitude lines 90 degrees to latitude lines?
I don't care about longitude lines. We're talking about latitudes right now, Craig.
Are longitude lines 90 degrees to latitude lines? Yes or no?
Great. I'm not talking about longitude lines.
Are longitude lines 90 degrees to latitude lines? Yes or no?
I'm going to answer that question because we're talking about how you maintain to stay in your latitude. It has nothing to do with the latitude.
You're the one that brought it up because you said about the 90 degrees. So let me ask you the question again, and you can answer the question.
Craig, I'm not flying north and south, Craig. I'm flying east and west.
So
don't be stupid, Craig.
if you're flying east or west, you will go on your latitude line. Yeah. If you're flying east or west, you stay on your latitude line. You don't go towards the equator. No.
QP, everybody here is you trying to divert the conversation because you don't know, you don't want to answer.
I have answered
properly.
I have answered every single question.
You changed your mind like 4 times.
Well, no, I was trying to clarify what you meant.
You're so confused. You don't even know what you're saying.
I've explained to you it several times. Right, you are wrong, Gary. All right, about the fact. No, I'm in the middle of talking. I'm in the middle. Right, I'm gonna mute you again so I can actually talk.
Yeah, this is getting ridiculous.
Right, Gary's muted on my end, so I can't hear him. So I'm just going to talk again, so without Gary interrupting me. So the fact is that to go east or west and maintain your heading as east or west, if you keep your compass to go east or west, you will stay on your latitude lines. If you're at the equator, that means your heading will stay exactly the same, and you won't need to change your heading. The compass will still go east or west. If you are anywhere else apart from the equator, to go east or west and follow your latitude line, you have to change your heading. That is how it is. You do not get to the equator by just going east. And he's left.
Unfortunately, Gary doesn't like it when he's not allowed to just talk over other people.
Yeah, I know.
It's a Gary thing.
It's amazing how he spends so much time complaining about me talking over people. Yet, literally every time I got 2 words into a sentence, he would interrupt me.
Today, Craig, Gary wasn't on here today. I wish he would have been, but I used Kerbal Space Program, and I showed this exact thing, and I even showed the nav ball, which is basically a compass, and what it would take to stay on the latitude and everything else. And we was going to record it because we was wanting to let Gary see it, but we had a few technical difficulties and ended up not being able to.
Yeah.
So
I thought when Gary's on about like going exactly east, I thought he meant like, you know, pointing east, putting away your compass and just following that heading completely, right? Which, yeah, if you do that, you're going to cross the equator, right? But that doesn't mean you're following east. As you follow that line, your compass is going to, you know, start pointing away from east because you're no longer going exactly east, right?
Right. In Kerbal, basically, what I was doing today is, which I was in orbit, not on an airplane, but you know, in Kerbal it shows your orbit line around the planet, and as I was going around, I had to keep my nose pointing straight north and do a very slight continuous burn the whole time, and constantly adjust to the left as I followed my line to stay on the same latitude, showing you have to constantly turn left and constantly adjust your compass heading to go east. I wanted so bad for him to see that. That's exactly what you're saying, but I wanted so bad to have that ready so when you argued with him, you would have something to show him. But
the problem is with talking to idiots like Gary is that they confuse you with their own talk, and you have to decode the nonsense they're saying before you can actually get a thought clear in your fucking head. So yeah, I said the wrong thing there because I wasn't quite understanding what he was saying.
Yeah, we knew what you were saying though.
He's just confusing like direction with like actual magnetic, like where your compass is pointing, right? Like that picture I posted, like you said, that's 90 degrees from my point, but any point you're still going to be heading south. Like when you take that 90 degrees, it's not holding to the magnetic north, right? Like you're just heading in a direction from that point. Like I don't know, I don't know how that's confusing.
No, I yeah, and I think he's trying to play off the thing where I was trying to say about how latitude lines, if you would have to turn left or right when walking along them, which is just a hard thing to visualize. And I think the problem is that Gary cannot visualize that in 3D and see how on a spherical surface the cardinal directions will change if you follow a great circle route, which is basically what he's got there, right? If he's saying that you're going from point A to point B and it's going to the equator, he's kind of following a great circle route instead of a cardinal direction.
It's weird though because he's clearly he's maybe looked at Google Earth or something. He's seen that it will, if you head straight in one direction, which is kind of what I showed, the 90 degrees, you're going to go over the equator. Okay, cool. So can you not understand that while you're heading downwards, that is south from the magnetic North Pole? Yeah. Like, I don't know how that is evading him. So simple.
I've just realized that I've gained 210 new members during this stream. You guys are fucking insane.
So that's what I was saying about the ribbon, real quick. That's what I was saying a while ago about the ribbon. When you lay a ribbon on a ball, if you try to keep it at a certain latitude other than the equator on a ball, one side of the ribbon will automatically bunch up because a ribbon can't go around a curve. You know, a horizontal curve, it can go over a curve, but it can't go flat ways around the curve. And when you lay it on a ball, if you just lay it out flat, anywhere other than the equator, it's going to go in a great circle route around the ball. The only way to make it go on the same latitude is if you bunch one side of it up, or i.e. you curve. You go around a curve. He don't understand any of that. It don't matter what argument you bring up, you'll never get that through to him.
No, I know. We literally showed him the picture, and he just thinks that because you start off going east and don't change direction, that means you keep going east. But that's not how it works. The magnetic field of Earth is, around a sphere, so your compass follows the lines of magnetic flux. It's not the way that he's picturing it is like a compass works over a flat plane. You know, but the Earth isn't a flat plane, so that doesn't make any sense. Yeah, talking to idiots gets you confused, that's for sure. But anyway, 2 hours. I think that's enough for today. Demon Stride, thank you very much for allowing me to come here and ruin Bev early. And you know what? I apologize if people didn't like me calling him Beverly. But as I explained, no respect is given to him. And if he doesn't like being called a name, which sounds very similar to his name, on the internet, then, you know, maybe the internet is not the place for him if that's going to get him so angry. I mean, I've spent years, flat earthers calling me fat, fight the tight shirt, etc. Did I get pissed off at that and rage quit? No, I went to the gym and fought the fucking tight shirt. If you cannot cope with being called a name on the internet, then the internet is not for you.
Naming saves lives.
Amen, my friend.
Yep.
Don't worry about
True.
it, Greg. Gary salvaged the day, so the debate, so everything's all good.
Thanks for stopping by, and I think the link for the Medicinal Mass Media YouTube should be in your chat by now.
Yeah, I also linked it in the description of the stream. So if anyone would like to join this server, because it's a really great server to hang about, a bunch of idiots to talk to, but also a bunch of smart people to talk to. The Medicinal Mass Media server Discord link is in the chat and in the description. So thank you very much, Demon Stride. Thank you for everyone here. Thank you for people, you know, when I say something wrong, when I get something wrong, right, I like to be corrected. Yeah. You know, I'm not perfect. I'm not, you know, gonna get everything wrong right all of the time with every word that I say. I might say the wrong word. I might get somewhat confused and need to rethink what I'm saying. But there's nothing wrong with that, you know? And I like when people tell me that, oh no, you were wrong there. Sort out what you've been saying, because that's the way you learn, right? And the difference is between someone like me and someone like Gary is that I can be told I'm wrong and learn. But Gary can be told that he's wrong over and over and over and over and over, and is still a fucking muppet. So, you know, there we go. Thanks, guys. Thank you, Demon Stride, and I will speak to you all soon.
Yep.
Good
See you
night.
later.
Well, guys, that was fun. Just looked at the super chats and stuff, and, you know, woo-wee! Has there been like a super chat battle going on or something? A fucking membership battle? Oh,
level.
He didn't like that, did he?
Level.
Siggy says, fuck Gary. I don't want to, if it's all the same to you. Seriously, the amount of super chats and memberships, it's mind blowing. I'm gonna start reading. Might be here a while. Dale McEwen, who's been a member for 3 months, says happy 3 months. Thank you very much, my buddy. That's 1/4 of the way around the sun. Slithery for £5 says, I say we take off and nuke FTFE from orbit. It's the only way to be sure. You think a nuke will stop me? Really? A nuke? The Spirit, $10 says, level, damn it. Just take a drink anyway.
Level.
Skidmark McGee, who's been a member for 15 months, says, can't hear Bev. Yeah, I'm sorry about the technical issues at the beginning. I forgot to put Bev on. And then he, £2 super chat saying that as well. The Spirit's member for 35 months says, no Discord audio. Yep, sorry. Can't hear Bev. Can't hear Bev from William Foley. Sorry, guys. Right, again, I apologise for the early technical issues. I went Flerf. Pat in the chat for £5 says, I really like the beginning of the stream called Guess the Dirt, based off of FTFE's responses. Yeah, you knew who I was talking to. Stringer News 1 says for $2, FTFE, big problem. We can hear Bev! Yeah, I know, you went from not being able to hear him to be able to hear him, and both of them are fucking Patrick Butler for $2 says, you still talk to these clowns. No way. I know, it's fun. The Spirit $10 says, we are sorry. We told you we couldn't hear him. Can you please undo the fix? Yeah, you're making me dance every time I get super chat now. Please, 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 pretty please. My helmet isn't rated for this level of stupidity. Yeah, you shouldn't have told me you can hear Bev. That was your guy's fault, basically. Throw the Dwarf, the Red Ranger, for $5 says, the Flat Earth is not the greatest thing I've heard of today. Some people think you can steal someone's manhood through a handshake. Yeah, the witch trial thing. Goodness. Pythagoras for $2 Australian. Is Bev's whole debate strategy just to act dumb? Pretty much. OG Yeti gifted 5 memberships. Wowzers. Thank you very much. I've got an insane amount of members because you guys. And, you know, 210 members is insane. The record for a stream was 236 members, right? I mean, that was ridiculous. And the fact that I've got 210, which is close to my record of 236, is insane. Please you don't need to break the record, don't worry. PhD Tony for $10 Australian says, ask Bev what deflection of vertical is and why we have observed it for almost 300 years. No, he didn't know. PhD Tony, $10 Australian, ask Bev if he's seen the new SWOT data of sea surface height relative to reference ellipsoid. No, data he does not like. Connell Silver has been a member for 31 months. That's more than twice around the sun. Coming up for 3. 31 months, so many lost brain cells, but I keep watching. At least the stupidity doesn't always have to be terminal. Warboss for $5 says, a Hume came into my house, forced my door open. I crump you so hard. Even Gork and Mork wouldn't recognize you after. You were gentle, boss. The thing is, all these people, these flat earthers going on about my getting arrested, are only reading the court. Woo! Woo, woo. Thank you, Bill. Are only reading the court reporter thing, right? And the court reporter only reported on the things that I got charged with. I didn't get charged with the first beating, only the second. So, you know, the court reporter wouldn't report on the first thing because it wasn't in the court. Then we've got String of News 1 for $2. Beverly practices non-mathematical geometry. NA for $6.66. Hail Sagan. All maths and level lines are CGI.
Level.
And then NA gifted 5 memberships. Wowzers, that's 10. And then the Spirit did his Oprah impression and gifted 50. And then Siggy, not to be outdone, because Siggy is Siggy, also gifted 50 memberships. And then Siggy for 666 ARS's. Hail Sagan. It's always turtles all the way down. Always turtles all the way down. Yes, it is. Fact-based $2 Australian says FTFE wanted to end it, so made Bev quit. Not good. I mean, I didn't want to end it, fact-based. I enjoy wrecking Bev. I mean, he's the one that chose to quit because he didn't like a name, you know? The Spirit for 50. The Spirit gifts another 50 memberships. Fuck's sake. Thank you very much. And then Siggy Sigweld for 666 ARS says, why is it it's always the worst people that mistreat everyone around and abuse them verbally end up demanding respect? Yeah. Fuck giving that cunt respect. Hey, I can actually love heart comments from here. Whoa, that's new. And then Siggy Sigweld gifted another 50 memberships. I mean, everyone's getting memberships today. The Soldier, member for 9 months, says, I respect your patience. Still no Star Trek for me. Live long and prosper. The Spirit for $20 says, Siggy, you're an absolute beast. Yes, he is, and so are you. The Messer's been a member for 4 months, says, so is Gary arguing for a globe right now? Gary's just arguing dumb, I think. OG Yeti's been around for 4 months, says so much confusion with this topic. Yes, there was. Bill Tetley says for $5, in brightest day and blackest night, no flerf shall escape his sight. Let those who worship flat earth might beware his might. FTFE's light. I'm a Green Lantern. Bill Tetley, member for 3 months, says, I love Emma. She keeps fight going, which makes us all happy. I love Emma too. And Emma recently fucking smashed a triathlon. PhD Tony $5 says, I don't know about the pre-debate exchange, but you are your own person. Do what works for you. Sean was just whining endlessly to hear himself talk. I agree. And yeah, you were right, Tony. I was disrespectful to Bev. But he's not someone I would ever give respect to. And he really didn't like it when I called him Paul, did he? Paul Bevan doesn't like being called Paul Bevan, even though that's his name. Paul Bevan also approves of doxing. Paul Bevan. Anti-dick to suck. Anita dick to suck. For $2 says, remember, Paul Bevan approves of doxing. Yes, he does. Bill Tetley says, for $2, dad dance, fight the flat shirt. Ooh, sexy. Back at the gym now. I took 5 days off because Emma was away doing her triathlon. So I had like a deload week from the gym, but I've been back. And I'll tell you what, after taking like 5 days off and going back, I feel stronger and better. It's amazing. And then, oh no, it's Andy for £2 says, a nuke would only start the Clone Wars. The Clone Wars started when NASA made FTFE. That's for sure. Well, guys, what an amazing night. Thank you very much for watching. I love all of you. Not you, Gary. I will see you all very soon. I've got another debate in 2 days' time. And I might just do another little stream in between. Like an open panel type stream. What do you reckon? Would you guys like that? I'm sure you would. But it's come that time of the stream where we have to ask the important questions. The really, really important questions. Like, you know, can we pretend that airplanes in the night sky are like shooting stars? The Spirit for $10 says, I finished FTFE complaint box. It's located by the US flag on the moon. All complaints must be placed in the complaint box. And Bill Tetley for $2 says, here's one more. Where's the song? Here it is.
Like shooting stars. Should be wishing for a brain right now. Brain right now. Brain right now.
Good morning. These words come with a storm warning. Better batten down the hatches, grab some matches and brace yourself for a long day of misery. YouTube has given me the power to reach up into the sky and show you all that we live on the ball. I bring you science that's comprehensible. Your view is indefensible. You're reprehensible. Go on, Mr. Sensible. When I was young, I never thought I would be here to see this. A pile of random nonsense dressed up as bullshit. Your ignorance will be the death of us all, like running headfirst full speed into a wall. You could always read a book, buy a telescope, set it up and take a photo of the moon, or just be a buffoon. I send you in a balloon up to the stratosphere in page 3.
You're a few fries short of a happy meal. You're dumber than a box of hair. The wheel's spinning but the hamster's dead, and you're as smart as bait. You forgot to pay your brain bill. You're missing a few buttons on the remote control. 24 cents short of a quarter. You're surfing in Nebraska. You're as bright as Alaska in December, and you fell out of your family tree. You don't have all the cornflakes in one box. You got an IQ of 2 and it takes 3 to grunt. The elevator doesn't go all the way up, and there's a vacancy on the top floor. Your antenna doesn't pick up all the channels. You're several nuts short of a
You're Mr.
fruitcake.
Sensible, calm down, don't go too hard. You don't need the hard to burying flerfs in your backyard. You're a man of science, poise and grace. Mage 2 did everything to wipe the grins off the face. So Nathan, get away from those kids. The world is not flat and it doesn't have a lid. Recognise the differences between the textbook and the Bible and control yourself. Lay off your slander and your lies. You're a bunch of knobs poisoning the well of the youth. Spreading lies that you like to claim as knowledge and truth. Stop spreading fresh bullshit like the butter on your bread. Maybe a musical assault will knock some sense into your head. I hope one day you'll hear these lyrics and smile, and you realise you used to be a 40-year-old child. Now it's time to wake up, open your eyes and see, and acknowledge the existence of.
You're a few clowns short of a circus. Your phone is off the hook. Your sewing machine is out of thread. You're all foam and no beer. You don't have all your dogs on one leash. An intellect rivaled only by garden tools. There's no grain in your silo, and your skylight leaks a little. Your belt doesn't go through all the loops. You couldn't pour water out of the boot without instructions on the heel. Your slinky's kinked, and you're proof that evolution can work in reverse. A few feathers short of a whole duck. One fruit loop short of a full bowl.
Airplanes in the night sky are like shooting stars. Should be wishing for a brain right now. Brain right now. Brain right now. Can we pretend
thought it was over? Well, I'm still standing while you're swinging, flinging feces, talking shit just like the human centipede. You've got the mind of a chimp, and I'm here to expedite your shore leave. Cause I'm a seaman, but not the kind I writ up on your mum's gums. I'm the kind that sailed submarines and fired guns. I could float a boat across the ocean with my eyes closed, circumnavigate the globe with a compass and a bag of sausage rolls. Well, all you can do is nibble on your toes. I'll smack you with the hose that you call a water level, sit and swivel. You nasal gazing muppet, you can stuff it harder than the wallet stuffed by Warren Buffett. And I don't care about your sources unless you're serving them. And I don't care about your lines unless you're curving them. Now step away from me, you're sucking up my oxygen with a vacuum where your brain should be, you dumb fuck.
Level.
Level. Look, this button here.
Level.
Thank you guys. What a wonderful night. Oh, apparently I need to go and eat more because I haven't hit my protein targets. Oh, I can't see it, it's too bright. Still not too bright. That's what I'm using to help me with my losing weight and everything. Tells me how much I got to eat, but I'm still 2 grams off my protein for the day, so I'll have to go and eat some. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I will see you in a couple of days. Remember that stupidity, it's not a right, you know. It's just not. It really isn't a right. Stop being stupid. Just don't do it. Stupidity is not a right. Fight the flat earth. Fight the flat. 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 Fight the flat.
Level.